Choose life. Choose a job. Choose a career. Choose a family. Choose a fucking big television. Choose washing machines, cars, compact disc players, and electrical cinemas. Choose a podcast. Choose the Untitled Film Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Untitled Film Podcast. I'm your host today, I'm Lee. There's no Mike today, so in his place we've got Paul from the Maximum Powerup podcast. Hiya Paul, how are you doing?
Not so badly. Good to speak to you again and good to be on the show, and it gives me a chance again to talk about films. Today's chosen film being
Mortal Kombat!
Sorry, that was an awful dance music impression. Finish him. Yeah, sorry. It makes me cringe, and that's coming out of my mouth. So, yeah, I apologise.
It had to be done, Paul. It had to be done.
Oh, well, listen, at some point we're going to be discussing that soundtrack as well, because, my God, parts are good and parts just make me feel like it really is the 90s all over again. So I suppose it does the job. But anyway, more of that later. Yeah,
well, sticking with the soundtrack anyway. The soundtrack, I've got it on CD. I don't know if you got it yourself or anything.
Not anymore. I had a friend who had it, and I used to borrow it off him because it had a few metal tracks I liked.
All right.
Yeah, so it was interesting. Hang on.
Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm just going to turn that up.
What, you dropped that up?
Oh, sorry. No, sorry about that. Right, okay. Well, I've just turned my microphone up ever so slightly there, so hopefully that should actually help a little bit. So, anyway.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, you've not been back on the podcast since the Bill and Ted episode and recorded that one with Mike.
God, that was quite a bit back.
Yes, we've got a bit of catching up to do. Not between us, because we talk like on WhatsApp together anyway, and we're mates outside the podcast, recordings we're doing stuff like, because we go to car beach, don't we, together, and I nip into HMV where you work, and sometimes you sort me out with some deals in there. Let me know if there's any deals going on. But just for the listeners anyway, just to catch up of what you've been up to, Paul.
Well, I've been trying to get a few films watched recently and some TV. The thing is, working at HMV, you get talked to so many customers, I see so many films, and you sort of like go, oh, right, I need to watch this, I need to watch that, and you've got customers telling you the same. So you have your film to watch pile and your TV show to watch pile. And at the moment, I've been trying to catch up on things like Fear the Walking Dead, but that's sadly gone a bit downhill since.
What season is that up to now?
Five.
I'm a Walking Dead fan, but I've never watched Fear the Walking Dead because I've heard mixed reviews on it, so I've kind of not delved into it. I heard season 1 was poor or something, then it picked up. Was it like season 2 or 3 were good, and then it's just gone down?
3 and 4, and now it's gone bad again because Scott Gimple, who left The Walking Dead and more or less dug it into its own grave. He made it so boring. He's taken his talents of killing a show over to Fear the Walking Dead for the second half of series 5, and it's been boring as anything. Right. So that's my review of that at the moment.
Is season 5 the season where Dwight comes into it from The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Or is that season 4?
Yeah, season 5. Yeah, you've got Morgan in series 4.
Is Morgan
still? Series 5.
Is Morgan still knocking around?
Yeah. I won't do any more spoilers, but it's still all right. But for a show that was going so strong, it's lost its way a little bit again, and it's really frustrating, you know. But Walking Dead's back on relatively soon, so it'll be interesting as season 10 starts. It'll probably be out by the time the show comes out, though.
Is this the final season, though, I've heard?
I doubt it. I'm sure it got given series 11. If it gets series 11, it needs to finish and bring Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead together, wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, they're doing about a movie, aren't they, with Rick?
Yeah. But I mean, obviously a bit of a spin-off, but Christ.
Yeah. Well, we'll see anyway. Maybe the movie's coming a bit too late now. Maybe they should have done that. Maybe, I don't know, 3 seasons ago or something. The spin-off movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. We'll see anyway. I'll give it a watch if it comes out and it's all about Rick, to see what's happened on his side of the story, because we don't know what's happened to him, do we? Since
spoilers. Just be
careful. The season before. Yeah. Well, it's a season or two old now, isn't it? Yeah, they didn't watch it then.
Yeah. I've also watched a few very bad films and a couple of good ones.
So tell us the good first.
Okay, I'll go for the good ones first. So the good ones were Bohemian Rhapsody, which I finally watched, even though it feels like every man and his dog has seen it.
I've not seen it.
Right, okay. Well, you know, you're in the minority like I was. It was obviously telling the story about Freddie Mercury and, you know, his not even all his time in Queen, because it finishes, well, it starts when he's a kid, teenager, joining Queen. Joining a band called Smile, who then go on to become Queen. And then it finishes over a 15-year snapshot of his life, really, taking it up to Live Aid concert, which is obviously one of the biggest music concerts ever. So it's, you know, it talks through his relationships, coming out as gay, informing the band that he's got HIV. So there are some moments where, you know, you're like, oh, this is really sad, and then there's some comedy in it where it's showing him in the trailer, but, you know, like recording Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's funny to see the battles they have with like the record company manager, where he's like, you can't be putting out this song, no one's going to buy a 6-minute song. And obviously nowadays, you know how big it is. And they had like Brian May helping him, you know, with like historical parts. So I think, you know, it was good. It entertained me. I watched that, I think it was last Friday or last Sunday anyway, so a few days ago. But yeah, really enjoyed that.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but then if I remember last time when I was on with you and Mike, kind of talked about The Dirt, the Motley Crue one on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I would say that goes into a bit more of it's more of a deep dive into, you know, the life where Bohemian Rhapsody sort of just skips over things a little bit too quick, you know. But I felt like it's a 2-hour film, maybe a little bit longer. It could have had like another 15 minutes and, you know, maybe gone into it. It's not like me to say it could have done with being a bit longer, you know. I also watched, I'm going back a few weeks now, It Chapter 2 at the cinema, which I did rush to because I'd only recently watched Chapter 1, which I really, really enjoyed. And I'm usually down on horror remakes, so much that I will be down on one in a minute or two. But It Chapter 2, really enjoyed it. A lot of comedy in it. Because obviously it's a few flashbacks from being kids, but it's mainly set around them being adults, and the likes of Jessica Chastain and I can't think of his name, who plays Professor Xavier, James McAvoy. James McAvoy, just brilliant in it. I would say there's a few good jumps in it, a bit of gore, but not as much as part 1 or chapter 1. But just Pennywise is scary as anything, you know, and that's what you want from a horror film. Basically, it ticks all my horror film boxes, you know, and this is what I was bang on about. It's like, it's got
jump scares,
you know, and, you know, just things that make you feel a bit uneasy. So I think when both come out together, it's going to be a must buy for me because I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, it's on for almost 3 hours, and part 2. So when you put both together, you're looking, it's like 5 hours in total.
Did it feel stretched out though, with it being that long?
Ironically,
were you bored?
I would say you could have probably. I know I just said you could have given 15 minutes longer to Bohemian Rhapsody. You could have probably taken 15 minutes off It Chapter 2. Yeah. Swap them over. Although that'd be weird if you put 15 minutes of It Chapter 2 in Bohemian Rhapsody. It's a case of, why is Pennywise a clown stood next to Freddie Mercury? Anyway, don't know what's going on in my head there.
Bohemian Rhapsody 2, the sequel.
There you go. Oh my God, it wasn't HIV that killed Freddie Mercury. It was actually Pennywise a clown. Shit, no one knew. I know. We all float down here. Freddy. Oh no. Oh, is it Freddy Mercury? Freddy Krueger. Oh, that's it. It could have been Freddy versus Freddy instead of Freddy versus Jason. I'm so sorry. This might have to be edited out. It's just gone horribly weird.
No, we'll keep it there. He does the editing.
Krueger, Mercury. Oh God. Sorry. What was the question? Oh yeah. A bad remake that I watched was the Pet Sematary one, which I thought was a pile of.
Oh right, yeah. I stay clear from that one because I just didn't fancy it. I don't think you can top the original anyway.
No. It's
I just stay clear with that one.
I'm not going to say a lot about it really. It's just boring, horrible ending, which just made me feel a bit sick at the end of it. Anyone who's seen it might agree with me on that, but I don't like. Is he called Jason Clarke, who's in Terminator?
Oh
5,
yeah, and he's
whatever.
and he's in Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I really don't like him. I can't stand his face. It just annoys me. And there's not many actors I can say that about, but he puts my teeth on edge. So I think straight away it's like on a minus star, just with
when it puts you off from the start if you know he's in it.
Yeah, I just don't like him. I don't know what it is, but there's just something. It comes across as a smarmy git. I don't know why. It could be really nice in real life, but nah, it's just nah.
Yeah, I know you're coming from that because he came across like that to me in Terminator Genesis. Very smart and going and play the John Connor, wasn't it? But I didn't mind him in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes because he was even though he was a villain in that film as well, like he was in Terminator Genesis. He seemed better in that role for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah,
so
he was
I just basically I see the name and I go ugh.
That's what I mean. See that Jai Carton, his name. Thinking, oh my God. But we'll not get on him again because I think nearly every other episode, I think me and Mike bang on about him.
The other films I've seen, just a couple of straight to DVD type fodder.
I watched. Have you streamed these or have you bought?
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry. This one was on Now TV Sky Cinema called Killer Weekend. The biggest name in it, if anyone into UK comedy, is Mark Heap, who is in things like Big Train, Spaced as Brian the Painter, and also Green Wing as one of the many crazy doctors they have over there. And basically, it's a group of 30-odd-year-olds, so about our age, maybe a bit younger now than me because I'm almost 40 odd or 40. And yeah, basically, if you go on a stag do and Mark Heap plays, like one of the dads of the the dad of the bride to be, so he doesn't like the main guy who's getting married. He thinks he's a bit of a dick, really. But if you go on a bonding weekend for like paintballing but zombie survival, so it's like a load of like hard nuts who are like want to be army men who dress up as zombies, and then obviously you just got to shoot them with paintball guns. However, there's one of them who is it's not much. Well, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I think it'll show it in the trailer. I guess is if anyone ever watches this, kill one of them by accident, and then basically they've got these actual army men after them. Not really a horror, but not really a comedy either. It's just. It came out of nowhere, but it was only 80 minutes long, so it was a short, quick one just to put on one night. Yeah,
were you desperate for something to watch then, Paul, that night?
I like Mark Heap because of the comedy stuff that he's done, so I know this will be a worth a watch.
Do you still like him after that film?
Amazingly, yeah, just the Spaced, I'm just trying to think what else. Another one. We'll say we got downloaded from somewhere. Banana Splits movie, which wasn't that good. Banana Splits movie based on the old TV show that was, I think, mainly big in America. I don't know if we had it over here. I'm going back to like the 70s, maybe even 60s. But it's basically a mixture of like kids TV show mixed with Five Nights at Freddy's, where the cartoon animals, animatronic animals, like a bear or a dog type thing, a gorilla and elephant, and God, this sounds like a really bad joke. And yeah, basically they go wrong for wiring because they're animatronic and start killing people. And these people, grown adults, are such fans of the banana splits because there's one person who goes like, it's like a 7-year-old for some reason. This 7-year-old loves banana splits, going, oh, I really want to go. And anyway, they take him to go and see this live show. And then they find out, oh, the banana splits is being cancelled. And that's when the robots go wrong and start killing everyone. If you want to watch anything like that, just watch The Simpsons Itchy and Scratchy Land because it's about a zillion times better. Bad film. Next up is...
Yeah, you didn't sell that one to me, Paul.
Yeah, no. Well, the next one is one you've seen, and you didn't sell it to me, but I enjoyed it quite a lot, and it was that Critters Attack, which I saw the other night.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we can discuss this together.
Right, okay. Yeah, so go on then. What was your... Because I bought this from... where did I buy it from? I think it was Tesco. I think I was browsing there in Tesco. I was in Wigan, and it was a DVD, £7. And you know, like...
Yeah.
You know, with me, Paul, anyway, and probably the listeners anyway, like me cheesy horrors a little bit, especially with Critters as well, from the mid to late 80s films, early 90s. So I thought, yeah, I've got to pick that up and go with the DVD box set I've got anyway. And I didn't really read any reviews on it anyway. I knew there was there's two different shows. There's a TV series and there was this movie, and I weren't sure which had the good reviews and which had the bad reviews. And I thought, no, in my luck, I bet it's this one. So I didn't look at the reviews anyway. I just thought, I know one of them is going to be bad. I hope it's not this one. So I got it, started watching. I was like, oh no, this is the bad one. This is shit. I stuck it out and watched it all, but I couldn't. It was nothing like the originals. I didn't like that white critter as well.
Oh, the queen, the good queen. She was basically right. This is my only issue with the film, and like I say, I enjoyed it enough to say give it 3 out of 5 for what it is, because I go. No, seriously, because I look at it and go, right, it's a straight-to-DVD horror. It's basically re-releasing of a franchise that I do like you, and you. Yeah. I know you nipped into work and we talked about it, but the idea of having that white critter queen is very Gizmo. It's a bit of a rip-off of Gizmo, from Gremlins, just because of the bit where, God, I know this is spoilers, so I don't want to give too much away, but basically she's like a bit of a good guy, I suppose, like how Gizmo is, and you're like, that's a bit cheesy, but I look at it, and
she was in the girl's backpack as well, a bit like Gizmo.
Yes, yeah. It made me laugh a lot. There was quite a bit of gore. I think some of the death scenes were quite funny because, like, the main girl in it, when she's like this guy fancies her who plays bagpipes or something, and then they've got to go to this college to go and rescue him. It's like, oh, he's over there playing his bagpipes. I can hear him. No, he's being got by the Krites, and they've just ripped his stomach out. But like, it's basically just playing the bagpipes. So it's basically like a shit Gremlins,
Yeah,
so,
very shit critters.
No, I don't know. I enjoyed it enough because there was a bit of comedy. You've got the whole massive critters ball. I don't think the characters look crap.
If anything, it seems as though when I think back to it now, it seems as though like throw your hits into one film from the Critters films, because it started very like the first Critters film where the guy was on the bike, and I thought, is this like a reboot with like Charlie on the bike at the start and the family was on?
Well, just go on. You just went a bit then.
Can you hear me, Paul? Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, it just went a bit quiet then. Sorry, so you were saying, it started with the farm.
Yeah, and then so the part on the farm reminded me of the first film, and then the big ball at the end, the critter ball, reminded me of the second film. So I think it was like throw your hits into one film from the Critters films, and this is what we've got for you.
Fair enough. I mean, there's far worse, like Killer Weekend that I just mentioned, and Banana Splits.
Predators.
Oh, God, that was the last film that I mentioned to you. Yeah, The Predator, absolutely awful. And I mentioned it on Get to the Chopper page.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys were down on it, and I thought it can't be that bad, so I went in with very, 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 very low expectations, and I was still disappointed. And I would say, please never make a Predator film ever again, because the last good Predator film was Predator 2, and that's scraping the barrel.
1990, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a big
Absolutely
step then, isn't
awful.
it, compared to the first
I
film for
know.
me.
But honestly, Predator 2 is an absolute masterclass. You'd be like going, oh, if only we could make a film as good as Predator 2 again. You're like, honestly, because I didn't like Predators with Adrian Brody. I hate
Oh, see,
Alien versus Predator films.
yeah, well, I like the Adrian Brody one. I quite like that one. It felt like a bit of a reboot, like the first film really had a first film like feel to it, and a few callbacks to it as well. So I like that one because it was very much set in the jungle again, even though it was like on the Predator's home world or a Predator's world, what they like do the hunting on. I quite like that film as well, and I can't like you. I can't stand the first AVP film, but the second one, Requiem, I don't mind purely because even though it's like obviously people shit on this film and say it's awful compared to the first film, but I hate the first one more than the second one. But the second one, I prefer the look of the Predator in Requiem because I think he looks more like the Predator in the first Predator film and the second Predator film, opposed to the first AVP film, because the Predators in that look too chunky and the tech was different as well. The helmets were different, and like I said, the whole tech was different. I know they weren't using like UV like sensor heat for they were hunting the aliens, so it was different. But yeah, I just didn't like them. They didn't seem tall enough, but Requiem Predator seemed as though he'd been picked up from the first film or the second film and dumped in that film, and he looks exactly the same.
I'm never going to watch it again. But then with The Predator, which is like the worst cop out ever for a film title, or Predator 2018 or whatever he meant to call it. It's basically the line of when the doctor sees the Predator on the bench right at the beginning. It's like, oh, you beautiful bitch, or something, instead of like, you ugly bastard. And I was cringing, and there was other bits that made me cringe. It's just a case of like, what was it? Get to the chopper. They actually used the line, get to the chopper. I was like, oh, seriously, this is horrible.
Yeah, well, they did that in Requiem as well, when the guy, when they were helicoptered when they were in a, I don't know, hospital.
I can't remember. I remember a swimming pool near the end.
That was in the middle of the film after swimming pool, I think. But I'm sure there was a helicopter on top of a hospital, and it was kind of one of the boats shooting one of. I think they were getting chased by the Predator, and then that alien Predator thing as well. What came up, and them two were fighting, and the humans make a break for it, and one of the guys just said, "Get to the chopper," and was like, "Fucking," he just thrown in for the sake of it,
Predator dog, ridiculous. Predator dog that basically helps them. The massive Predator that turns up and has a fight with the original Predator, rubbish. The stupid little kid who gets a fucking Predator mask, mailed to him, and his dad turns up. Oh, how did this happen? I don't know. Maybe Royal Mail's extremely shit in your country, or UPS. It's a case of, oh, brilliant, I've got a fucking Predator mask. And then it's a case of, like, the Predator can see him by using other technology and stuff. It's like, no, this is ridiculous. And then he goes trick-or-treating with it, blows up someone's house, and those rubbish bullies run off because they're like going, oh no, he's got a Predator mask. It's like, what, no one would call the police straight away if he's just blown up? Oh, it's horrible. I'm sorry.
There was no need for that kid to be in it, that whole little
story. It was rubbish, absolutely rubbish.
Yeah, like I said to you, Paul, I quite like the loonies in that though, the group. I quite enjoy the banter they have. I think they hold up for me, but the rest of the film, it's just pants.
One funny bit, and it's when the main girl wakes up and they've all put bets on, going, oh, I had like $50 or $5 or whatever it is, and she was going to pull a gun and stuff. And like one of them, it's from Key and Peele, so it is Jordan Key. No, it's Jordan Peele. I can't remember the first name, but the comedy duo Key and Peele. Jordan Peele gone on to do Us and That Lot. Well, the other half, the Dead Thin guy. Oh God, it was just a bad film.
I know.
I just can't stand it. I mean, Finger was in it as well, Alfie Allen, and you're like, oh Jesus. Obviously I've mainly seen him like Game of Thrones, but it's just a bad film. We need to talk about something else.
Well, that is the ending as well. I mean, apparently that ending was filmed for Arnold Schwarzenegger, wasn't it, or something? They wanted him to come out of that suit.
Yeah. On
the table there. It was just like, just didn't make sense for me. It was just you just got to skip it, aren't you? When you go, this is like the Predator franchise is like the Terminator franchise, and the Alien as well. They've all just gone straight like downhill. basically. No, I mean not so much Terminator 1 and 2. Yeah, Alien and Aliens, fine. Alien 3, some aspects I don't mind, but after that, the Resurrection down, and then Prometheus, no, and then Covenant, no, Terminator 3, no, Salvation, no, Genesis, no.
Genesis, Christ, is that one with
Yeah.
Matthew Smith in it? No, yeah.
Yes, the recent one, innit, that one, that
Yeah.
Jake one.
No,
Matthew Smith, Doctor Who.
yeah. No, honestly,
he's Skynet, isn't he?
the thing is, and I think right for our age group, right, and say 10 years older, and you look at Aliens, and the first couple of Terminator films. You look at the original Star Wars films. The thing is, these are classics, all-time classics, right?
Yeah.
So with things like The Matrix more recently, it's an all-time classic. Now, even when they do this new Matrix, it will never, ever have the same impact. Even like when I watch something like Toy Story 4, don't get me wrong, I really, really enjoyed Toy Story 4, but it's never going to have that same impact as the first Toy Story film. Because with Terminator, it was a brand new franchise. It was quite a low budget sci-fi horror film. Terminator 2 had all those groundbreaking moments of effects and stuff. Alien, just horrible claustrophobic horror film, dead unnerving, and again some jump scares. And then with Aliens, at the height of the action hero, the male action hero at the time, I know we obviously had things like Red Sonja, a similar time, but to have Aliens with a bit of horror but mainly a balls out action film, these are films of the time. And it's just basically, I think everyone's just basically trying to put what is it, let the genie out of the bottle again or something. It just doesn't work.
Fresh ideas.
Yes, it is all about fresh ideas, and sadly you don't get that many. Although I will say, and I need to watch it at the cinema, I do need to see Joker when that's out in a couple of weeks. Because that looks class. Sorry.
What did you say?
No, saying. I was saying I need to see Joker when that comes out because that looks brilliant.
2 weeks off or something, a week?
Yeah, about a week and a half.
Yeah, I fancy watching that as well because it looks okay, Joker, but with the like a cross between Jack Nicholson's Joker and Heath Ledger's.
Yes, and that can't go bad. It really can't. It can't.
We hope not. Well, it looks good on the trailer, so.
Yeah, see how it goes. So that's basically the main ones I've been watching. Like, what have you been watching? I know we've talked about Critters Attack, and it's we've had a few of the same things, but has there been anything else? So your microphone's dropped out a bit there. Give a sec. Late? Oh, you're back.
Yeah,
you're back then. Yeah, you're back. You just went for a second.
Yeah, sorry, listeners.
Oh, sorry about that.
What happened?
So,
okay. Yeah, so I was going to ask you a question. If you had to watch one again tonight, and it was either Predator, or Critters, this new one, which one would it be?
Critters,
yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Well, I think I pass on both, to be honest with you. I don't think a good pick, but for me they were both bad. I say I like the loonies in Predator, but Critters callbacks were good, but just weren't enough. It didn't grab me enough the whole film. I thought the acting was bad in that film.
No, a bit bad. I enjoyed it enough.
So it's been out a while now. It's been for 2 or 3 years. I've not got around to watching it, but I picked it up as well the other week in 3D. So I might give you listening. I picked up another 3D Blu-ray. I might not agree to it, but I went for it. It was that Rampage with The Rock. Have you seen it, Paul?
All right. Yeah. It's watchable.
Yeah, it's as good as I expected, actually. I didn't expect it to blow me away or anything like that. I expected it to be an all action film, and The Rock The Rock. He looks the same, kind of like same character in every film, really. And it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was what it was. It just a bit of a corny ending when he was fighting, when the whole city got evacuated and he was taking on like the creature with the machine gun, and he was in the helicopter and stuff, and then thought, nah, why is he not getting squished here? I mean, if anybody else, passerby or something like that, they would have been squished and gone. You know what I mean? But no, not The Rock. He just takes them on.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, the 3D on it didn't blow me away. It was all right. Let's say if I had to rate it out of 10, that film, 5 or 6 or something like that.
4.
Passes a couple of hours. Yeah, passes a couple of hours, maybe a 5 at best. So after that, anyway, I watched Solo, Star Wars
I've not
story.
watched this yet. Still not seen it.
Yeah. Well, I was on about you, and I've been trying to pick it up on 3D Blu-ray. I sent you a message the other week and said, have you got it in stock in HMV on 3D? And you said, no, we've not got that in stock. So it was CEX to the rescue again. So I picked it up from there. Well, there was a bit of a cock up anyway, because I always mention to you, Paul, about every time I go to CX, there's always something. I go there to get a Pacific DVD. I've checked it's online, and I go there to get it, and I find out it's not there, or the box is missing. They've got the disc, or I can't find it, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's showing on the system. It's showing on the system they've got it in stock, and I'm like scanning the whole store, and then speak to the staff, and like, yeah, we've got it in stock here. Well, what the fucking hell is it? And then I even went to one store to buy a DVD once, and I said, I'm looking for this. He's like, right, okay. So he took me to the shelf. No, it's not here. I'll check the system. Well, I've checked the system already. I checked online, and he said, you've got one in stock. Where is it? And he was like, right, I'll double check. Yeah, you've got it one in stock here. I can't find the discs either. So he said, I think what it is somebody traded them in. I remember now. Somebody traded them in. A member of staff accepted them on the trade, but later on, when they've actually done the deal, when the customer had gone, that he found out they were region 1s. I was like, right. And he said, just need wiping off the system. Sorry about that kind of thing. All right, okay, so you're not going to be in stock, right? So I left it anyway. And I thought, I'll just check out of curiosity if they actually deleted them off the system. No, they're still on the bloody system, and this was about 2 months ago. So that just goes to show the stuff they have.
Well, I can't get a job there, so what do I know?
Yeah. So anyway, so I checked to see my local CX in Wigan. They had this Solo on Blu-ray 3D in stock, and they had it in stock, and the nearest one was Salford. And Salford's about half an hour drive from Wigan. So I thought, well, go on now. I'll just nice little drive up there. I'll go and pick it up half an hour, and then I'll come back. And it weren't that easy with it. So I get there, looking on the shelf for it. Right, okay. Right, looking for it. On the S and everything like that. Star Wars. So
shit is here. Hide it.
Yeah. Well, they had 2 copies on normal Blu-ray on the shelf. So I thought, oh no, they've not done that again. Have they listed it online that it's 3D, but I've got there and it's just the Blu-ray version. So one of the member staff walking past me, and I collared him, and he said, right, I've come for this Pacific DVD Solo, and he said, you've got 3D, you've got it in stock here, but I couldn't see Blu-ray, 2 copies. And he's like, right, I showed him my phone as well. I got my phone and I showed him, right, okay, so we should have it here somewhere. And he was saying to me, all the 3D films, all the 4K films on the top shelf, yeah, I can see that one. And he said all the 3D films have been mingled into like the alphabetical order with all the other Blu-rays and stuff. I was like, yeah, I know that. That's fucking stood here looking for it. So he was about helpful with a bloody chocolate fire guard, this guy. So he said, right, okay, well, it might be on the till anyway. Right, okay, because it might have just got traded in recently. Right, so checking the till, and I found it on the till there, stacked up with another like bunch of like Blu-rays and DVDs and games in the mixer. So I got it in my hand, queued up for it, went through the till. Guy that came over, I took it off me, and he went over looking for the disc and stuff like that. And I thought, I best double check and make sure he puts the correct disc in anyway, because you've always got to double check with these anyway when they're up there, because they're in the lackadaisy sometimes, the staff. So I was watching him there, and he put 2 discs in, and I thought, I'm sure that's not the 3D one anyway. So when he come to like finalising it anyway, taking payment off me, I said, have you put the 3D disc in there? And he's like, yeah, I'll check anyway. And he went, oh yeah, it's good job you look, because good job you mentioned, because I put the normal DVD in. And I thought, oh, there you fucking go.
It's just ridiculous. don't
just
get it.
so
How
it's
be
got to
that
get
bad?
out of that day actually. Got to get out of there and just get home with it in my hand, thinking I finally got it. You know what I mean? And it's a good job I kept my eye on what disc you were putting inside. Otherwise, I'd been coming back with a bloody Blu-ray and thinking, oh, I want to watch the 3D. So then it would have been a case of driving all the way back again for swap it.
Yeah, it's not good enough, really.
Yeah.
I just think it's ridiculous how so many cock-ups happen, and we just never do
Yeah,
anything
and it
about
always
it.
happens to me every time.
So what else have you been watching?
So Solo, that really enjoyed it. I thought it was maybe not as good as Rogue One, because I love Rogue One of the Disney films, what they've produced anyway. The Star Wars films, I think Rogue One was by far the best. I weren't a fan. Episode 7, I don't mind. Force Awakens, I don't mind it. But that Last Jedi, I said it on the Get to the Chopper group as well, and I mentioned it to a few people in the past and said I just can't get on with that film. I couldn't get on with like Princess Leia doing a Christopher Reeve Superman in space. No. It just other parts of the film as well. The whole plot from the they're not called the Empire, are they know what they call the New Order?
Yeah.
The whole plot was basically let's just wait for the rebels.
First Order.
Yeah, the First Order. That's it. Let's wait for the rebels to run out of fuel, and then we'll fucking hunt them down, kind of thing. And just you know what I mean? It was just like no. And that whole casino scene as well when what's the coloured chap called?
Finn.
Finn, yeah. That when they go looking for the Master Code Breaker.
Yeah.
No, just no.
No, I quite enjoyed it. I watched it for the first time a few months ago because I bought them on Blu-ray because with episode 9 coming out in December, I wanted to catch up, and Theo watched parts of them with us as well. And like now we recognise his BB-8 from a mile off, you know. And again, because we've both done Disney recently, me and you, it's been good to see the Star Wars stuff there as well. You know, like, we both got to meet Darth Vader, and then you see things like the BB-8 burger and stuff.
Yeah, the Star Tours as well, the ride.
Yeah.
Which was Hyperspace Mountain as well. Right?
Yes. I just want to go back again now, but I've got to wait now until it's been done up.
Pennies.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Definitely.
But Solo. I really enjoyed it, but I'd probably say 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
I was thinking well, I think he did a good.
Is that back? There you go.
Back. Around back.
Yeah, sorry, went a bit. Like we were being, this is going to sound weird, interfered with from being some another dimension. I think it's because we're just talking about so much Star Wars. I know. And early on, Twilight Zone as well.
Yeah. We spoke about this off air anyway, so I mentioned it to the listeners because there's another CX little mini rant now. I want to make. So I went to Disneyland in Paris about 4 weeks ago, and you went in summertime, didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, I went back in May.
May, yeah. So I went about a month ago anyway, and I went on the Terror ride. Well, yes. I've been to Disneyland before 2 years ago when my little girl was 3, but now she's 5 now. So we said, we'll take her back now. She's a bit older. She'll go one more ride and she'll probably enjoy herself a lot more. So we went back anyway, and I went on Terror myself and did it, enjoyed it. And I thought, well, I wouldn't mind watching the Twilight Zone because I've only ever seen a few episodes years ago, and I wouldn't mind picking up like a set and stuff, like a box set or something. Not so much the original black and whites from the 60s, maybe like the more recent ones from the 80s, and I think they did another one in early 2000s, 2002, I think it was, another series. So I was checking my local CX again. Well, I checked a few actually to see which one did have it in stock, and it turned out it was like the Wigan CX had it in stock. So I thought, right, okay, I'll out about going up and buying it yesterday on my day off, and I thought, well, go on then, I'll have a walk and I'll go and get it. Right, okay, so I went there, went to the DVD section, the box sets section, looking for Twilight Zone, no sign of it. thought, right, this is it again. It's typical now. I want this, and it's not here. So scanning around, I went to the actual movies. I thought maybe one of the member of staff has put it in with the movies. So I went to the T section there. No sign of it. There's a member of staff upstairs at the time in the DVD section labeling. Well, I think it was labeling or sorting out some DVDs anyway. So I went over to him and said, "I'm coming for Twilight Zone." He's like, "Oh yeah, the TV series." So took me to T. He looking for it, couldn't find it. Right. So we had a look around in the box sets, couldn't find it. So he said, "Go and ask one of the other members of staff on the till. They'll do like they'll check the system and they'll find out when it's been like brought in to store. Because it might be still like in one of the boxes waiting to be unpacked, or it could even be just behind the till with all the other box sets, or it could just be sat on the actual counter." So I was like, "Right, okay, right, I'll do that." So I went downstairs, spoke to another bloke, and he was like, "Right, okay, yeah, we got one in stock," kind of thing, the obvious. And so he said, "Right, well, we'll go and have a look now then." So we're back upstairs again with him, and he said, "I've not been funny now, but did you check the T section?" I was like, "Yeah, I checked the T section." So he had a look and
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, so he went to the N section because he said it's under the new Twilight Zone, this, because it's 1985, 1996 TV series. So we checked under N, no sign of it. And he said, "I have seen it. I saw it last week, the box set, remember?" Because he said, "I was up here and I saw it." Right, okay. So we had a look around for about 5 minutes upstairs, no sign of it. Right, so he said, "You wait here and I'll have another look around, and then I'll go downstairs and see if I can find it." If somebody picked it up and then just dumped it, changed their mind, dumped it with all the games downstairs or the Blu-rays or whatever. Right, okay. So he were down there for about 5 minutes or something like that. He come back upstairs, no sign of it, but he said, "I've got the discs." So he said, "We must have the box set somewhere. We've not sold it because I've got the discs." Right, so we had another look around for it, couldn't find it. So he said to me, "Oh, right, maybe somebody's nicked the box. Maybe somebody stole the box. Maybe they've got the disc or something. They need the box for complete it on, or they just want to sell it on eBay or something. I don't know." But he said it's been happening a lot. There's people been taking, stealing DVDs. He said, well, a lot of the 50p ones have gone missing recently. So I thought, right, okay then. So he had a look around, couldn't find the box set. He's got the disc, and I said, "Well, could you sell the disc?" He said, "We don't do that anymore now. That's not policy anymore." He said, "If anything, I can order like not a copy, but he said I can source the box from another store somewhere. Maybe they've lost their disc in another store and they've got an empty box." So yeah, do that anyway. So I left him with that anyway. But later on, when I got home, I was a bit pissed off really, walking on thinking, "Fucking, it always happens this every time to me."
It is every time.
Yeah, every time I go in, no matter which CX shop it is, something like this happens, and it's always something I want. You know, when I'm just browsing around, when I purposely go for something, there's always like a fuck up or something. So I got home anyway, and I thought, I'll check eBay then anyway. And considering I was going to pay £12 just for season 1 of the Twilight Zone, I managed to get the whole box set for £15 off eBay. So
Which
I can't
is a
complain
bargain.
with that. Yeah, I can't complain with that.
Bargain.
I'm not grumbling with that anyway. So when the guy said he's going to drop me a message anyway if he finds it in CX, if he finds the missing box, but it's just going to be like, no, I've got it already off eBay now for 15 quid. For an extra £3, I've got the whole 4 seasons.
It's a no-brainer. CEX isn't always the cheapest. You know, like sometimes you do get lucky. We know that when we talk about games.
Well, you had that problem with R-Type.
Yeah, 40 odd quid for a knackered cart with the label ripped and yeah. I don't know.
It's shocking. We've had some encounters over the years.
We have.
Yeah, there'll be more anyway. There will be more.
Let's move on before the CEX lawyers start coming down. Send the dogs out on you.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It could be the predator dogs.
Oh God. Now that would be punishment.
It could be the dogs. Resident Evil. Zombie dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. So I've started watching this. I've still got to finish off anyway, but it's had kind of reviews. But a lot of the reviews have been pretty good anyway, so I've decided to give it a watch. The Meg, like Jason Statham.
Yeah. I've watched it.
I've only watched a bit of it so far. So
it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's just dead silly action comedy.
Yeah, that's what I expect from it anyway.
It's Jason Statham. It's just daft.
Yeah, this is going back to when I said before about the Rocky always looks the same in every film, and I think Statham is exactly the same as the Rocky. I think he always looks like he's just come from a Transporter film or a Crank film or something, or Expendables.
No, it's not bad.
Not
It
bad,
really,
yeah.
really
So
isn't.
yeah, I'll stick that out and watch that. What else have I watched recently? My little girl's been going on. Well, since we went to Disney anyway, and she had a little bit of a lightsaber duel with a little boy dressed as Darth Vader.
Nice.
She's been into Star Wars because we went to the Star Tours at Disneyland, and she went on the ride there, but she didn't really enjoy that one. And then when you come out to that, you can go and meet Darth Vader. But she saw Darth Vader, and we've been being so tall and stuff. She was like, "No, I don't want to see him." So I got left to me for see him. I know your little boy saw him in the pictures, and he looked made up for seeing him, but she did. I think she was scared. She said, "No, I don't want to see him." So she left the room, and I had my pictures with Darth Vader there, and he was talking to me. But anyway, that since she met him, then she gets saying, "Daddy, I want a lightsaber. You get one so we can have a lightsaber duel." And I was like, "Well, I'm a bit of a cheapskate anyway. I know I was at Disney and stuff like that, but I thought I'm not paying 20 to 30 euros for a lightsaber. You can get them for a few quid at back home in B&M bargains, you know." So I was like, you get one. I'll be all right. I'll hang fire till we get back home. Right, okay. So I was pushing her anyway because with her only being 5, and you might have the same problem. It's a long day when they're at Disney, walking around the little legs. They can't do all the walking, so we had to hire like a little buggy. I don't know if you did the same for Theo.
No, we took the pushchair with us.
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
yeah, we actually put it on the plane and everything. But
yeah.
I think one day it didn't go in the pushchair, but it was knackered. Luckily, it wasn't the day we did the fireworks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's always a late night.
When we went 2 years ago, we took a pram as well, but now she's 5 now, so we don't need the pram anymore. But when we were there, because you're up at the park from 8:30 in the morning, you're not getting back to your hotel room at your hotel till anything from say between 8 o'clock at night till 10 o'clock, depending on depending on what time you leave. And this one day anyway, so we hired the pram 25 euros it is for hire the little buggy for the day in the park. So we're pushing in the buggy, and she just jumped out of it and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? If you're getting her to buggy, let us know." And she jumped out of it, and she's like, I want my lightsaber." "Why?" "I want to go and fight Darth Vader." And there was a little boy dressed up as Darth Vader in the corner. He must have been about 8-year-old, and Emmy went over, and she's like...
And that's when the police were called for basically assaulting another child.
Yeah, well, she was whacking him with lightsaber, and I was like, "Emily, go easy, you know, it's so hard." And luckily enough, he had his lightsaber blocking and stuff. But they seemed to attract a bit of a crowd. A woman came over filming it on her phone, and then there was a guy come over with his kids, and they were sat on the wall watching them, and the other little duel. And then it was right, and we were going to go now, and he was kind of like bit of a little waves kids do kind of thing, bye, and then he ran off kind of thing. But like, "Daddy, did you see me?" "Yeah, I saw you caning him." But yeah, so she's been going through since we got back from there, she's been going through a bit of a Star Wars phase, and so I was like, "Right, we'll go on then. Let's watch the originals then." So I put the originals on, and she's been watching them, and then she finished watching the originals, and I put her on with the prequels, and she's enjoyed them. And then she's not really seen any of the new ones yet, but she knows who BB-8 is because I've got a BB-8 little remote control, like droid, and she knows who he is and stuff, and R2-D2. But the funny thing is though, when you watch the first film, I kept saying to her, she kept saying to me, "Who's that character?" And I was like, "That's Obi-Wan Kenobi." Anyway, a few days later, she said, "I want to watch Star Wars again," so put it on again. And then in mid-conversation, she just called Obi-Wan Kenobi Obi-Wanka. And she was like, "That's Obi-Wanka." "It's Obi-Wan Kenobi." Don't be getting
That's not very nice.
Mixed up with Willy Wonka.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so give me a bit of a tickle. But yeah, so I've been rewatching the Star Wars films as of late anyway, the prequels and the originals.
Yeah.
We've not delved into the recent ones recently.
No,
I watched Solo anyway, but she's not watched any of them. And I think that's about as much about as watched, I think, recently. Let me just give a quick think. Is anything you've missed, Paul?
No, I've just done my quick list, before coming on. But yeah, I think I'll move on to Mortal Kombat and stuff.
Main feature itself, yeah.
Let's
go for it.
Yeah, so thank you first of all for having me to cover this with you, because when you asked me, I'm going to be honest, I went, it's not a film I love, but it's a nice, easy, fun thing to cover. And again, coming from a games podcast, obviously we are a bit linked, and it's quite funny actually because we wanted to cover it on our show at some point because obviously we covered Mario Brothers, and then we were like going, "Who's up for Mortal Kombat?" I went, "I'm already nipping on to this podcast to cover Mortal Kombat." So we're gonna
traitor.
Yes, that's all it says. Yeah. Traitor, keep getting this. No, but I said, well, we'll cover Double Dragon over on ours because that's a horrible film, and I think that'd be fun to cover.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but thinking of Double Dragon now, I saw the animated series in CX as well the other day, 2 episodes on DVD for like 50p or something. Didn't get it, but
there's no point. We won't find the disc.
There you go.
I know.
No, it's actually sealed. Somebody's brought it in and it's all sealed up.
Do you know what? They've probably just put like the wrong disc in and resealed it. Or one day you're gonna go up there and just go, yeah, can I buy this please? Thanks guys. I've got a good feeling about today. And they're gonna go, yep, here we go. So it's a box set of 4 discs for, I don't know, like Red Dwarf or something like that. And you go, brilliant. I can't believe it's gonna go my way for once. And then we're just gonna snap each disc while looking you cold dead in the eyes, just going, there you go. Sorry, sir, I can't find the discs.
You know it's coming. I'm surprised it not happened yet, that.
I know. It'd be horrible, obviously. But no, thank you for obviously having me on for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So basically, this film, oh God, I'm just trying to think, 1995? Is
1995, correct, yeah. It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yes, who has got a mixed bag of films, mainly bad, but
then again,
I like Resident Evil.
Yeah, and for me, this is his second best film, I think, behind Event Horizon. I think Event Horizon head and shoulders above everything else, and then this. For me, Resident Evil, I liked it back when it first came out, but I think, again, it's like we said before about the Terminator film and stuff like that. When you watch that first film and you know what follows it, what trash follows it, you know what I mean? It's like it dampens the effective original film. The thoughts of it, but I could never get into the Alice character. I could never buy into her. Mila Jokovich's character. I could never get into her from the get.
Fair enough. But at some point we'll cover Resident Evil, no doubt. But back to Mortal Kombat. I mean, this obviously in a nutshell. So I'm going to do my own Wikipedia type entry. But usually it's obviously based on the very popular computer game series, which is now at its 11th installment, not including all the spin-offs. It's been going obviously since the 16-bit days, and also been on 8-bit machines as well. So, the time of things like Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, the Amiga, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, Master System, Mega Drive, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. It did sort of lose its way a little bit, but Game Gear, it's picked itself back up again now.
I think it picked itself back up again. Was it with the number 9? I think it was on the PS3. 9. I think that one, the time travel on that one, I thought that was superb.
Yeah, because
from strength to strength after that.
Yeah, they've put a story into it now and things like that. Because obviously, with Mortal Kombat, the game, just like the film, very, very, very basic premise, where it's a fighting tournament. Although they've tried to put a bit more into it by, they've got to defeat the evil Emperor Shang Tsung. Well, it's not really an emperor, is it? It's more of a magician type thing, evil magician. But there is the massive overlord, and why can't I think of his name? The big, So. Yeah, so not much to it. It's just basically big fighting tournament, happens all the time, and basically the good god, Raiden, god of lightning, is basically there as a sort of a guide to make sure that the chosen warriors that come together for this film stop. Oh God, why can't I think of his name again? Shang Tsung. So yeah, because if he wins, what Shang Tsung? Sorry, if he wins, what is it? About the 7th Battle.
The
10th,
top.
there you go.
Yeah.
Believe it, I have watched this film. This is why I don't do Wikipedia entries. So yeah, basically, if you win 10 tournaments, what is it, like Hell Open or something like that, of a push?
No, don't they get to invade? They merge to Earth. The portals merge and they come into Earth.
Yes.
Yeah,
It just sounds. It is a really, really bad plot, but obviously you don't get these films for a plot.
Yeah, it's just a full plot though.
Yeah, it's the thing is with this film, it's come out when you've still a lot of love for. It's sort of like the last few days of those like a massive 80s boom of and early 90s of action films. You know, with guns, muscles, kicks. You know, like because back then I used to love things like Van Damme films. You know,
Yeah,
absolutely buzz
Still-
off them. Like you see in
still-
things. Well, you know, when you watch things like AWOL, you know, it's a case of a death warrant where it's Van Damme versus someone else having a fight, kickboxer. So that was like the in thing. So it was like, okay, it's what?
Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport, yeah.
Bloodsport, yeah. Even the film Best of the Best as well, you know, with Eric Roberts.
Yes, yeah. You know, these were still popular films, and then Mortal Kombat came along. Obviously, we've seen how popular the game is. Let's do a film of it. And this is where it's going to get interesting, the conversation, because you've seen some of the things in the game, some of the special moves, and you think, how would you put these into a film? Well, luckily, you get to see these effects, and that's what we're obviously going to discuss over like the next hour. And my disappointment in this film, hopefully, Lee's a bit more positive about it. It's not the worst games.
Yeah,
It's what?
I'm more positive on this film because I wanted to cover it, so it's the thumbs up for me on this film.
Okay,
I think a lot of it's nostalgia for me with this film because, in fact, actually, Paul, we'll just get into it now. So, when was the first time you watched the film? Did you see it at the cinema?
No. I was old enough to go to the cinema to watch it, but
What were you in 1995?
95, I was 15, 16, so I was old enough, but it didn't really appeal to me. I think it's just as I was, I suppose, getting out of that. I feel like if this film had come out 3 years earlier, if Mortal Kombat had existed, you know, like if this had been like 1991 game, film out in 92, you know, straight hot on the heels, I think it had done really, really well. But it's sort of like, you know, like a film like The Rock was out the year after. You know, like so action films were changing.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
Things like Speed was out the year before. So I feel like this was the sort of decline of this sort of genre of martial arts films, you know. God, I'm sure I watched a film called The Quest a couple of years later. Again, another Van Damme.
Roger Moore, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's
pretty much the same story, if I remember. Similar, anyway.
Right.
And they're setting on an island, and I do remember that one because my brother was a big fan of that film when it first came out as well.
Really?
Yeah, but I've got the budget for the Mortal Kombat film was 18 million, and on the box office made 122 million back. So it was a big hit. That was a big hit in 1995.
Then I will keep my mouth shut on that part. But I first watched this probably about, it may be when it came out on video. I seem to remember like either me or a mate renting out, you know, from like Blockbuster in West Arton.
Yeah.
Like local to, well, where I lived at the time. So not far from where I am now. So anyway, like I remember it's a sort of like film you watch on a Friday night. You know, dead easy to watch. You're not expecting anything like, you know, proper brain taxing or anything like that. And I think like any film based on a computer game that I watch, like we just mentioned with Resi, I like seeing the characters from the game to see what they look like. Now, I think this film starts off okay, right? Because it's introducing you. It's sort of almost like a character select screen in a way, because
I think just 1 minute, Paul. I think as well when the film starts, you're hooked on it because when that music starts pounding out at you, dun 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 dun, and you're like, yeah, I'm
your
into this.
impression of it's better than mine.
I've heard it that many times over the years, Paul.
It's just like, oh god, it's it's funny because obviously the music is quite memorable, but it's very early 90s, sort of like techno and things like that. But
Tracy Lords as well, innit? Did you do Tracy Lords Control? I think that was one of them.
oh god, I don't know. I've not got the only album track I know on that is the Fear Factory one, Zero Signal, which is used between the Johnny Cage and Scorpion fight. But we'll get to that in a little bit, because I was just getting to Fear Factory, like a metal band, and when I saw that like one of their tracks was on it, I was like, oh, excellent. And I think the soundtrack had quite a lot of that industrial type metal on it. Off the top of my head, there were a few tracks that I'd always play again and again and again. And yeah. But what I was saying about the film, everyone is introduced, like the main characters, like Raiden, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Kano, even giving them a little bit of a backstory with Sonya Blade and Kano, Johnny Cage, so it's sort of like
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, Shang Tsung as well. So it's showing a lot of well-known people from the game, the main ones, really.
Yeah, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah, because like when they come into it, you go, oh, Scorpion Sub-Zero, this will be quite cool. But not meant to be making a pun there. Sorry. But you think, all right, so these are the bad guys type thing. Because one of the things that I don't like about it is it's this tournament, and it's just like, they're also pally. Whereas the case, they've only just met for the first time. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Johnny Cage. Oh, I'm Sonya Blade. You all right? How's it going? All right. Should we go for a coffee? Oh, this is Liu Kang. Oh, you all right, guys? Yeah. So what's going on? And then you're just watching these other fights where it's like, yeah, go on, back you for your fight against some no-name jobber, like some sort of like rubbish WWE superstars matchup from when we were kids, where it'd be like the big name versus a nobody.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just like little things like that where it's like going, yeah, this is bugging me straight away. Like there was no proper like matchup at all with them, because you had Johnny Cage, like I said, fighting Scorpion, which, I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping around a bit here, but that entire thing with Scorpion and Johnny Cage, where he's just basically like still in his shirt, all nice and neat in this forest, and then you see Scorpion appear and try and shoot his his harpoon at his hand. That looks so rubbish, and I know it's quite an old film.
Effects in it, yeah.
But it's chasing him around, and I'm just going, this is ridiculous. And then they go to like this sort of, parallel type worlds where it's,
they go to the Never is it the Never Realm, where Scorpion's lair, isn't it? That?
Yeah. Oh God, I understand that they have to sort of tick the boxes going, yep, we've covered that background now, yep, we've had a fight on the beach type thing, and yep, we've had a fight here, and there's just a few things where I just go, ugh, it's just very, very cheesy. I mean, I know that's like what I'm only mentioning that one first because that's quite a big fight scene, which is showing off the sort of special effects quite a bit.
Do you know what, Paul? That's one of my favourite fight scenes as well.
Really?
Yeah, I love the whole, when he's walking and Johnny Cage is walking and he's in the trees there, and then Scorpion turns, they'll be like, come here. And then they have a little bit of a tussle there in the woods. And then
that's what makes me just cringe.
The music, I think the music as well, though, gets me on that. I know the music in my head, but I'm not going to, obviously hum it or anything on here because it will just be atrocious. But, yeah, and then Scorpion tries to make a getaway, doesn't he? And Johnny Cage turns up. Johnny Cage does his super kick. Is it called his super kick or something like that? I think it's called from the game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He ends up getting sucked into his lair, Scorpion's lair. But even when he defeats Scorpion and he chucks down, he does his friendship, doesn't he? And he's signing autograph there. That was a quite nice little nod to the game as well.
It's funny because obviously it's got characters in from the later Mortal Kombat games, so it's like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, which is quite good because it has, what is it, Princess Melina?
No, it's Kitana.
Oh, Kitana, yeah, sorry. Don't know where I've got Melina from then.
Melina's in the sequel, isn't she?
Right. Okay.
We'll get to the sequel as well because we're not gonna cover it on episodes, but we will touch on it at the end anyway.
That's fair enough. I mean, and then also you got Reptile in it as well, and I'm sure he's only in the second game.
No, he was in the.
Is he?
Was he? No, he was in the first game, wasn't he? Because he was hiding in the pit.
Really? God,
yeah, I think it was in the first game. Yeah, he was hiding in the pit. Because I remember, I don't know if you could unlock him or I can't remember now, but I know he was in the first game. He used to hide, and in the sequel, it was Smoke and Melina. They were hiding in the forest. They pop out in the forest. You see Smoke in the background behind a tree.
You can tell. I mean, I own these games as well, but you know, I've just not played them for so long.
I played the original first 3 games on the Mega Drive, and then the PS1 for the third game. Knew many times over the years. I mean, I think I got the first Mortal Kombat game on the Mega Drive when I must have been it was early 90s. So
was it like 93? It was like maybe.
Yeah, I think it was
93.
93 or something like that. Yeah.
Because it was Mortal Monday. That was such a big thing.
I remember on the street when the young boy, when he go out of like a building, he said Mortal Kombat, and a load of like group of kids are coming running down the street to him.
Yeah.
No,
I do remember that.
The days when we used to watch Games Master on Channel 4, that's what it was.
With the film, I don't know what it was like. I think there's just certain things that just sort of excuse me. There's certain things that make me just, they don't feel they fit in that well. It's sort of like very poorly pieced together. Like, for example, when they're going over to the island, and it's sort of like, I know, fair enough, you could put it down to magic and stuff like that, but like when they're at the harbour and you've got Sonya Blade going.
See Jax?
Yeah. And you see Sonya Blade looking over at Kano. Then Kano's like, right, okay, you're going to follow me now onto this boat, which is like an old type pirate ship almost. And it suddenly goes really, really foggy. And it's like, right, what have we now? Somehow in old London town all of a sudden, you know? And then it's like they're on the boat, and then you have this Shang Tsung meet him, speak to him just for a minute, where it's like, it's a bit of a trap, and that's like, say, when you meet Sub-Zero and Scorpion for the first time. But it just seemed to, I don't know, I don't think it's paced that well. You know, it's sort of just like, I don't know. I know it's got to get to the fights, but like straight after that, they're arriving on this island, and then you see, you know, they have this like big, well, they're about to have a banquet, but they can't because Sub-Zero turns up and just goes, right, we're going to show you what Mortal Kombat's all about, and just basically ruin your meal. You know, it's the case of, if you don't even get a chance to eat anything, just Sub-Zero just shows up as a fight again with some massive jobber who's just basically doing all these rubbish moves where it's a case of, right, he's doing his stretches, he's doing his kicks, he's doing his poses. It's like, this is rubbish. And then he just does that flying kick and gets frozen and smashes, and then which just made me just roll my eyes so much it almost went to the back of my head, was again when he had a Shang Tsung just go flawless victory. It's like, you can knock that on the head, and this is the same issue that we had, I was saying with Predator before. I hate all these like little
callbacks.
You know, callbacks and knowing winks and stuff like that. It'd be like if I was watching Street Fighter the movie or something, and you just had bloody Jean-Claude Van Damme's guy going Sonic Boom. I hope to God he doesn't, because I can't remember. But it just makes me cringe, you know. Yeah.
See, the thing is, what's making you cringe, I enjoy.
I know. I think
because it's got to be expected. They're gonna throw that line in because it's going to be a nod and a wink back to the game. If he didn't say that, people are thinking, you know what I mean, these diehard fans are thinking, why has he not said anything? You know what I mean, that was his line there to say something. And I do know what you mean, because it kind of like does get rushed up to that point where you see they're on the ship, and then it is sped up a little bit, and then that was a bit of a pointless scene anyway, where Sub-Zero freezes that bloke and that jobber, as you put it, and then I think it was just to show off his, obviously, the powers and stuff like that. But you always feel as well, though, that was the thing that always got me with the film, that the Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Shang Tsung to a degree have got like unworldly powers, haven't they? You know, they're just obviously special powers, but the humans have got no powers.
Yeah, no, I know. I think that's just
like to do these super moves, like, you know, at the end of the film, Liu Kang does that, like, I don't know what it's called, that kick move he does onto Shang Tsung, that winning kick, and well, it looks terrible anyway now. And Johnny Cage does that super kick. He does that shadow kick. That's what it's called. Everybody, the shadow kick.
Yeah,
he does that. Sonya don't have any moves, does she? I don't think a special move. She don't blow a kiss, does she, or anything like she's in the game?
No. But why does she just use a gun or something like that? You know, and it's oh god, it's just it's things like that just that make me go oh. And I know it's not meant to be taken that seriously. You know, I mean, like you just mentioned with the Liu Kang stuff right at the end to get rid of Shang Tsung was like, oh my god, it's like this is ridiculous. The pit of spikes with a big fight where you just going, well, I can see what's happening here because all the spikes are coming up, and again, I know there's levels with spikes in Mortal Kombat, and then you think, right, brilliant, we defeated him, but it just so cheesy. But one thing I will say, and I can't believe this is the thing I like the most in it, because I don't think it actually looks that bad, and that's Goro. And that really surprises me that I think Goro looks all right, because I go, yeah, it's more or less claymation. You know, granted, Ray Harryhausen has been doing it for years, but...
Yeah, well, it was a guy in a suit, wasn't it? It looks like. With
right.
Apparently,
was it?
Yeah, it was a guy in a suit, and apparently he had like a, you know, so obviously the guy's head would be up to, say, I don't know, his chest or something, or his chest. We had like obviously, I don't know, Goro's midriff upwards was on the actor's head. So apparently when I read into it, he couldn't see anything, what he was doing.
Oh, God.
Goro. Yeah, so he must have, and it couldn't have been that warm in there as well. He must have had a sweat on as well.
Well, do you think he looked good? Because he's got two big scenes. He's got a scene with
Johnny Cage, and he has that one with Art, that coloured chap.
Yeah.
And he has that one where he's talking to Kano as well.
Yeah, that's the first one I want to discuss, because that one with Kano, where I know Kano's meant to be a bit of a slob type thing, and Kano's just sat there eating a massive chicken type thing and all this food. He's the only one who gets fed at that bloody place. You know, obviously the feast of, you know, warriors just goes tits up, you know, because it's like, all right, I suppose one good thing is when food's a bit hot or Sub-Zero's here to cool it down. Oh, fuck, it's frozen now. Brilliant. Got to wait out to defrost. No matter, it's all over. There's a massive fight.
That chicken, what Kano's eating on, it's a massive chicken leg. So I don't know what type of chickens are over there, because when you go to Aldi or Tesco or Asda or something like that, you get a chicken leg from there. They're not that size. So
no.
We'll have to dip over to Outworld and get ourselves a few chickens and bring them back.
No, giant chickens.
Have a proper feast.
But yeah, so there's that bit. But
what KFC to business?
it's like the only other bit that I'll mention with Kano is just like this fight with Sonya Blade, and it did surprise me that she actually did kill him, because she talks about like he's mine, and actually breaks his neck. I was like, that still surprised me, because this sounds daft, right? This sounds so stupid, but I know obviously in the Mortal Kombat games, it's a fighting game and no one's actually going to die for good, because obviously you just choose them again or they turn up in another, you know, Mortal Kombat 2 or whatever. But like when she actually kills him, I was like, right, I'm really surprised about that, because I can't remember if any of the main people, you know, in the Mortal Kombat lore, as to put it, died. But yeah, they do. Kano.
Didn't he die? He died in one of the games as well, didn't he, Kano?
Oh, does he? Right.
Yeah. Because he's in the second game. He's in the first game, obviously, and then he's in the second game because he's tied up in the background when you're fighting Kintaro, and Sonya's on the other side tied up. I'm not sure he dies. He dies between the happenings of the second game and then the third game, because he's not in the third game. So I gather he's corrupted at some point. But he comes back really later on in these recent games, so I don't know if he's resurrected or something by Shang Tsung or Quan Chi, is it called?
Yeah, I suppose that could be how it's done. But the other thing that I didn't mind, like just going back to Goro, was the big fight that Goro has. I think is quite good. It made me laugh, but like quite entertained, laughing. Just like this is a bit far fetched. Like it doesn't stand a chance against 4-armed Goro. When you already know this guy could just basically break you in half. And this is what I mean. Like when you see the good guys stood around the ring and they cheering him on, it's like, yeah, go for it. You see Goro come out and you're like, you don't stand a chance, mate.
That's when he gives him the ghoulie shot, which is from the game as well, Johnny Cage.
Yeah. But then obviously to get rid of Goro, that made me. Well, there was just a bit where, because obviously he's after Johnny Cage, and then they come out on that cliff edge, and you see Johnny Cage like looking to hide a minute for Goro to come out, and I thought he was going to just basically get a massive rock or something and throw it at his head rather than just go
kick.
Yeah, it was like, and then just obviously falling down into the abyss.
Yeah, they were $500 worth of sunglasses, asshole.
Yeah, just I know, very cheesy, and I don't know. I suppose like if I was 12, I'd be loving this, But I suppose like I say, it's only the second time I've watched it, and it's like really? 25 years. Yeah, almost 25 years.
I've watched counts many times. I bet it's been well over 50 times since I've seen this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because we never really covered it when I watched it the first time, but I was a little bit too young for cinema because it was a 15 when it came out of the cinema, and I remember being at second year of high school when it's released, so I must have been about 12, 13 or something like that, around that age anyway. But I remember renting it out from Canning's.
Oh yes, over in Lee.
Yeah, my mum rented it from Canning's for the weekend, and I remember watching it thinking, this is ace, because I was a big fan of the games and stuff at the time. I think I was playing on, it was the first game or the second one, I can't remember which one it was. Probably the second one, I think, when this film came out. And really enjoyed it. I thought, this was epic, loved it. And then one of my friends who I sat next to in one of my classes at high school, he had it on VHS, and he was always banging on about it, and he knew that he was into it. He knew all the lines, and he could even he knew the songs as well, though. And I remember borrowing it to me, and it was big box X rental version as well. He said, "Oh, I'll borrow it, and just give me back whenever there's no rush." And I just kept watching it and watching it and watching it and watching it, and I know I own the DVD myself. I even remember the lad who was called Paul Valentine as well. That was his name. Who I said to sit next to it still, but he was no relation to Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Or Jill Valentine.
Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Or was it Johnny Valentine from Greg the Hammer's dad?
Yeah.
Ex-wrestler. That was his name. So if you ever listened to the show, Paul, cheers for lending us that years ago. So what was I going to say? I think Goro holds up myself. I think he still looks pretty good now. The scenes he's in.
I agree with that, definitely, because I think he's probably the best thing in it. And that really surprised me saying it. I've just gone, I don't think it looks dead cheesy, which I thought it would do, because like I say, I'd not seen it for years. So when we talk about, you might have a fight against Prince Goro, and that would be marvelous or some rubbish, speech, and you're like, oh Christ, Goro's in it. How are we going to do this? And luckily, it doesn't look like a 4-arm version of Morph or something like that. It's the case of, I know. Tony, that's just knocked him off and just sent him out.
Did you think it was like
claymation?
You thought it was claymation. Actually, in a suit.
Yeah.
The only thing as well, though, when Goro talks, when he's talking to Kano and Art, before he kills him and stuff like that, he sounds alright. But when he's fighting Johnny Cage, he seems a bit like very. He's just making that noises a lot, when he's like trying to chase after Johnny Cage, and I think, why is he not shouting like, come here, or you know what I mean, I'm gonna get you, or whatever. He's just kind of like making the grunt noises. Even when he drops him down off the cliff as well, and he's like, this is where you fall down. and he drops off. He's like, oh,
It's probably hard to speak though, isn't it, when you're in that massive suit? But yeah, I feel like it was really the best thing about it.
Yeah,
really.
see, I like Johnny Cage myself as well. His character, because there's a lot of foreshadowing from him anyway. Because at the start of the film, when he's in that garage and the doors open and he fights them like guys in suits, like the gang, and he says, "Oh, this is where you fall down," and that guy obviously forgets his lines and he drops down like it's obviously they're acting out a scene, aren't they, in a movie?
Yes. Yeah.
And then later on, he says that again, only that same line to go, "Oh, this is where you fall down," and he drops to the abyss. So a bit of foreshadowing there. But sticking with that scene as well with Johnny Cage, apparently, there was a rumour supposed to get Steven Spielberg to do that, to do a little cameo role. Because if you notice the bloke who's you might not know his name, might pass you by, but there's the film director.
Oh yes, yeah, I know you mean.
So awfully like Steven Spielberg. So apparently he approached him, and I think from what I heard, he was up for doing it or something like that. And whatever happened, he was filming something else at the time. He couldn't make the shoot when they did the shoots, so they got someone else to stand in who looks a spits of him.
Oh, fair enough. That's a decent piece of trivia. That'd have been a nice little, sort of cameo. If it had done it, because like I say, it is a really big game franchise, and I remember at the time people were still looking for that ultimate game franchise. I feel they still are, 20 odd years on, really. I'm just trying to have a look at the notes that I've basically made for it, because obviously I've covered quite a bit. I didn't go like loads and loads, but I'm just trying to think. Like some of the fights were all right. I mean, like I know I mentioned it a little bit, but the first fight with Liu Kang, where he's fighting the Jamaican guy, I think he is, and like they've both got like their
with the dread.
Yeah. They've both got like staffs, and they've put those in the ground. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then again, they're doing all the poses and stuff. Where I know, fair enough, that could be part of martial arts. The whole warm up. I'm never ever going to be a martial artist. I've admitted that to myself now. It's like basically just short round. Sorry. But yeah, it's sort of like a couple of punches and kicks and cut out for cover sticks, and some of that is quite well choreographed, and that just is like a bit of a callback to those sort of films, like you said, with Best of the Best, AWOL, and stuff. But I just feel like the fights were a lot better in something like AWOL and stuff. There just seemed to be more about them, because I can't remember if this film was a 12s or a 15s at the cinema.
15.
Right, if it was 15s at the cinema, it should be a lot more bloody, because when you have a look at like stuff like I'm going to use AWOL again as an example, but there's that fight. He has a fight with a guy in a drained swimming pool, and it's like I know it can't be like as violent as an 18s, but it can still basically beat someone half to death. They could have really beaten them, because remember, this is meant to be like the best of the best tournament, where it's people actually fighting to, stay alive, really. And it just seemed like a bit half-assed, some of them.
I think maybe because they was trying to get the kids in as well, so there was kind of, can't make it too like an 18 or an 18 film like the games. Even though the games weren't 18, but they were kind of like aimed for more adult, weren't they? And I think maybe Anderson and whoever probably thought, no, we're not making it full on 18 because it's aimed at kids, it's based on a kids game. So obviously, if they made it an 18, then obviously you're going to half the audience straight away, aren't you? Because nobody's going to go be old enough to go and watch it.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think if it came out now, I think it'd probably be a 12A, this film, because there's hardly any swearing in it, is there? If any.
No. I know. I couldn't really think of any at all, really.
There's no sex in it or anything. There's no nudity.
No, I know.
So,
which is a shame, because that could have got it a star.
Yeah, and there's no gore, is either when Goro kills Art, he just gives him
exactly.
To the face, and he drops down to the floor dead, and they're like, no. And so there's nothing really that gory, even when the death of Sub-Zero as well, when Liu Kang kills him, he just gets spiked, doesn't it, and frozen.
Yeah, I think honestly now it'd definitely be 12A. I mean, I like there's like a few dead cheesy bits. Again, this is like with bloody super friends, more or less, where obviously they're going into, you know, the other realm to go and rescue Sonya, which is very ripping off Big Trouble in Little China type thing, you know, where they've dressed her up to, you know, like in a little dress and stuff, and then it's a case of, oh, my friends will come and help me. It's like, hang on a minute ago you were like a massive bass killing Kano, and also just like in charge of a police force, and now you're going, oh, my friends are going to be here to help protect me, you know, and she suddenly goes to like helpless woman in it, which I found was a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know whether or not they cut something out of it, because it seemed a bit very, I don't know, like choppy, that scene as well. Yeah, and on the DVD version I've got as well, I think you can tell they've chopped something out a little bit, because I think in one of the scenes, I think she said something, or Johnny Cage said something, and she stood next to him, and he said something, and then anyway, she has a line there, and he chopped it. So I don't know. I'm not sure with that one, but but obviously she doesn't accept the fight, does she? It's I mean, he's a bit of a wimp in his Shang Tsung, because he goes for fight Sonya because she's the weakest, so he can win Mortal Kombat, and then he turns around and says, "Oh, I'll fight you, Johnny Cage," and then before he gets a chance to answer Johnny Cage, it's Liu Kang says, "Oh, you will fight me? I'm the Senator Kung Lao." You know what I mean? And it's like that. Yeah, but I don't understand this, because he's got to accept in the story. It's something like if he issues him a challenge, he's got to accept it for Mortal Kombat. But he issued the challenge to Johnny Cage, but he never got a chance to accept it. Or
I thought that was like, hang on a minute, it's like it almost went against its own rules. I'm sure someone can point this out with us, but during that fight with Liu Kang, and it's sort of having that throwback right to the beginning of the film by showing his dead brother, you know, and it's like, oh, they're using all the tricks in the book to try and go, yeah, come join me and be dead, you know, it'll be great, we'll be dead together. And it's like, I'm not falling for this rubbish sorcery, you know, and it's just so unbelievably cheesy. And I know, listen, I'm not trying to expect like, you know, such an in-depth film. There's just some things where I just go, I'm sorry, I can't buy into this at all, you know.
Starting to white gremlin on Critters.
Yes, yeah, which just says it all. And I think the thing is, at the moment, we seem to be at like, you know, polar opposites on some films. At this rate, you'll wish that Mike had covered this. It may have been actually kinder on it, you know. For me, it's a case of, oh, Paul's into his games. Yeah, I know he plays Mortal Kombat and stuff at times. Yeah, he might like it. No. Sadly not, and we've still got to touch upon the sequel, which I've not seen for a long time, but have seen it.
We'll not get into that one just yet.
No.
But Paul, it's a mid-90s film, this one, so you got to give it a little bit. And that's it. You know, them effects. When I watch it now, I think them effects look really ropey. Reptile looks awful. You know what I mean? When he's running around as like that creature, I think that looks bad. I mean, in the 90s. In 95, I remember thinking, I don't know about this. And then now thinking, my God. And that part is when you said Shang Tsung kidnaps Sonya, and he goes to like that big door, and that big blue bubble comes and sucks him into the outworld. She's going, no, that big blue bubble looks shocking. I've seen better effects on like CBeebies, like kids programs, that, you know.
No, it's awful, because you think you've already got a massive bubble in the old TV show The Prisoner, which I'm sure would have looked more realistic, but then you've also got oh god, what was it? Yeah, with Reptile, you know, he just looks absolutely awful. And then you think from, say, in the original Predator, when you see how he moves, you know, on that bit of effect. You know, he's got his cloaking device on.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have done something like that? But I don't know what it was.
I don't know, probably the budget or something, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, well, was it what's it called? Was it Stan Winston worked on Predator, didn't he? So obviously he's more into all that special effects and stuff, and the guy who obviously did Mortal Kombat,
Dave Jeffries. Yeah. I don't even know who he is. No, I don't know. If there's any Dave Jeffries listening, that name was just made up.
Yeah, you know? Probably a lot of the budget went on Christopher Lambert's Bill as well. Yeah, well, yeah, that way.
Oh, honestly, it's funny though because you listen to his accent, it's like a mixture of different places. And I know, fair enough, you watch Christopher Lambert in Highlander, which again, I love that film. I think Highlander's brilliant. No, it's absolutely fantastic.
Probably Christopher Lambert's most popular film, that one.
Yeah. And it's funny because I've been watching episodes of The Blacklist, the TV show with James Spader in, and Christopher Lambert's been in a couple of those as a bad guy recently, and obviously now he's so old, and it's just like you look at him and then watching him in Mortal Kombat a couple of weeks later, it's like God, he's so youthful looking despite his grey wig, I think.
Yeah. So that was the thing though with when he played Raiden as well, though, because I'm thinking, right, Christopher Lambert, because in the games, Raiden's like 7 foot tall, and he's something that, you know what I mean, he's massive in the
Well, it's the God, yeah.
He's the God, he's a lot bigger, you can tell noticeably as a character when you select him, he's bigger than everybody else, like a head bigger. But in the movie, casting Christopher Lambert, he's just like shorter, basically. He's just like the same height as like Liu Kang and stuff, and he didn't seem to have that, I don't know, that presence about him where you expect him to be taller and be like I don't know, intimidating really on screen.
I can't think. I'm just like, I know this is like a bit on the job researching. I'm just having a quick look at the type of films Christopher Lambert had been in recently. I remember watching him in a film called Fortress.
That's actually pretty good, that one, the first one. I've not seen the sequel, the re-entry or something. I've not seen that one, but
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, the first one's not actually too bad.
No, I know. I remember seeing that. Just moving down. So basically, I know this is usually what you do near the end and stuff. All right, it just done Highlander 3, more or less just before it. But
yeah, that Mario Van Peebles one. Did you watch that one, the Highlander 3?
Oh God, no, it's not. I have seen it, but it's not good.
No, and it did that. Edge the wrestling, the last one, was it? Endgame?
Highlander Endgame, yeah. That was 2000. I'm just having a look now. Yeah, I had no.
I gotta think it was that old. That.
And see, the thing is, I know we're going on a Christopher Lambert journey for a sec, but
this is why I didn't want to cover this Mortal Kombat episode, because Christopher Lambert's on it and he's not the big Christopher Lambert fan, so that's why he's bowed out of this one.
Right, fair. Well, I tell you what, I would say Mortal Kombat killed Christopher Lambert's career, looking at it, because he did a load of rubbish straight to DVD stuff straight after, and it's only with Highlander 4. I don't know, a film called Beowulf as well. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Oh, it got 4.1.
The animated.
No, it's not. No, this one isn't animated. That animated one came a few years later.
No, I don't know. I've not seen that one with it.
I remember it coming out in the video shop I worked at. Fortress 2 I didn't even know existed, so that just says enough about that.
Didn't he do one with Highlander as well, though? Didn't he do one with Adrian Paul, the actor from the TV series?
Did
they crossover?
Did.
Was it like, I don't know, early 2000s?
Well, it was at Highlander Endgame, but yeah, I thought there was another one, but yeah, his career is mainly just straight to DVD now. In regards to his cinema career, it's not been that good, you know.
Yeah, the last film I saw him in was that Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Terrible. And he was in it for about 10 minutes, I think, and he played a monk and he just had a bald head. And I just thought it was just randomly, because I didn't check the cast and knew who was in it. Obviously, I knew Nicolas Cage was in it, but I didn't look who else was in it. And then he just appeared. I was like, Christopher Lambert's in this, but he's only in for like 10 minutes, so he must be desperate for money anyway, because that film was awful.
Yeah, no, I know. But then, like, you know, the other things that had been in before, like in late 80s and, you know, with Highlander films and, you know, Fortress and things like that, he'd done a few decent things. But I don't know. It's just, anyway, I'm not going to carry on because, you know, if Mike's got to edit this, he'll just be wanting to cut his ears off listening to a load of Christopher Lambert talk.
As I said, Mike doesn't edit any podcast episodes.
Oh, right. Fair enough then, right? Okay.
Just chops a bit at the start, adds the music, and away we go.
There we go. Okay, there's the curtain pulled back there.
That's it, listeners.
There you go. So yeah, I just getting back to the actual film, because I know I've gone on a massive tangent there. I just think when obviously they've got rid of Shang Tsung, and then they just go, oh yeah, it's all brilliant and happy now, and then it just goes super cheesy with the best friends walking down the road, like laughing with kids and who have come back, kids and adults of the souls that have been taken in this horrible other realm. And then you get that, who's the main bad guy called? Who's like a, I don't,
Shao Kahn.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a massive like hologram type thing who just like laughs. It's like it's not over yet, whoa, ha, 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 or whatever.
You weak pathetic fools, I've come for your souls. And then like Raiden, what's this in it, Raiden? I can't remember who it's escaping.
It's either Raiden or Liu
I don't
Kang,
think so. I don't think so. They are standing in position for like fights. But the first time I watched VHS and it ended with that, thinking, oh my god, I can't wait for the sequel. And
wait, you did.
Well, we waited a few years, and I didn't watch we'll get to we're on the talking about the sequel anyway. We'll get to it now.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go back and do a bit of trivia anyway.
No. Well, listen.
We'll get into
Stick to your trivia first, and then we'll have a trivia before carrying on just with the Mortal Kombat spin-off. So, what's your trivia? What have you missed?
What have you missed? Right. Okay. So, did you know that for the actress who was rumored to play Sonya Blade at first was Cameron Diaz?
Really?
Yeah, but she broke her wrist, or broke her arm, I think it was. So they
just on the mask around there.
Yeah, they had to I've watched that as well recently. The Mask with my little girl. Not seen it for a while, so put it on for her, and she's so hot in that. She's stunning in that film. I remember the first time I watched it, she walks in and she's all wet, and she's come out with umbrella and she's piss wet through from outside, and Jim Carrey's there and thinking. And he's just staring at her thinking, I got that same effect. No. So she was originally I think she was cast as Sonya, sorry. And she broke her wrist or something. I don't know what she did, but she broke her wrist. I'm not sure if she was training or something, for like the Kung Fu. And then obviously they had to recast her then. So they brought in Bridget Wilson, didn't they? Sampra, because she's now married to Pete Sampra, and she's a tennis player.
Right, okay. Right, yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah. Do you know that the guy who played Kano sadly passed away in 2003?
I didn't. I was meaning to have a look at like other stuff he'd been in, because obviously I take it as a British actor, or is he putting on the accent?
Australian. He's putting on the. He's British, but he's putting on the Australian accent. But
right.
I think it's Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat. Since then, his cast is always, when they voiced Kano in the games, they always voiced him as an Australian character, since his portrayal of him in the movie.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm just having a quick look now. Trevor Goddard. Oh, right, okay. No, I have seen him in a few things, yeah, because he's in Deep Rising, and anyone who's not seen the film Deep Rising from 1998 is in for a treat.
Is that an effects? Shocking.
Oh yeah, very very bad effects and stuff, but it's got a great B-list crew, as to put it, of actors. It's really good. But anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of any more. Sean Connery was first choice for Raiden, believe it or not.
Really? Nice little leap there, isn't it? Right, we're going to go for the younger version of the Highlander duo.
Yeah. We can't get Sean Connery, so who can we get? I know. We'll get Crystal Lambert. It spent 3 weeks at the top of the US box office.
Really? That's not bad. But then again, when you said how much money it made, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what was around the midnight? I can't remember what month it was released in '95 anyway. But in 1995, when you had the film like Judge Dredd, Stallone's version of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, so obviously you had the other well-known tie-ins.
1995.
Toy Story?
Toy Story was up there, yeah. What's that one with Robin Williams? Was it Missy Doubtfire that might be there? Or was that the year after? Might have been year before. Was it year before? Jumanji, was that there?
No, that's 94, I think.
94, yeah, it could be.
Sorry, I'm just having a quick check. I'm sorry, this is again really really, really bad on the job research there. But like I say, Seven, which was a big one. Heat, Toy Story.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Heat was a massive one, but I'm just trying to think of like, comparing it to, some of the other ones that were going on around that time. Get Shorty, a film I've never really got on with. Braveheart was obviously a big one,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
something I've never watched. Never ever seen that. Um, Leaving Las Vegas, obviously a serious drama with Nicolas Cage, but that's meant to be one of his best roles before he then became an action star a year later with The Rock and
The
Face Off
Rock.
that you guys have recently covered.
Yeah, and Connor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So around then it was just like it was The Rock, then Face Off, then Con Air. It was like a trilogy of amazing Nicolas Cage action films.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
Have you ever seen,
but,
just sticking with Connor now and Nicolas Cage, have you ever seen Hard Target with Van Damme?
yeah, yeah. Oh God, I love
Yeah.
that film.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
not think that they took they ripped like copied Van Damme's character from Hard Target in Connor, because Nicolas Cage is that he's got the same
Same
he's got
hair, same
same
white.
he's got the white vest on, the Bruce
Yeah,
Willis white vest, he's got the jeans on, the denim jeans,
yeah. No,
bit of
definitely.
stubble. I think they've looked at Van Damme and they thought, yeah, we're going to use his look in this film. They must have done, because he looks odds on like spot on similar to him.
No.
His twin.
I see that definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Uh,
Other big films though from '95. Just had a quick look. Oh God, what was it? Crimson Tide, the submarine one with Gene Hackman. A
yeah.
futuristic film, Strange Days. Not many people have seen that with Ralph Fiennes in it. It's like
Yeah.
I've not watched it for a
Really
long
well.
time.
It's really good. I've got that on DVD, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's quite a few. Like we mentioned. Oh, Apollo 13 is one of the biggest ones, and 12 Monkeys as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Usual
So
Suspects.
3 weeks at the top of the US box office is pretty good, really.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. When you have a look, there's about 10 amazing films there. Like I've just had a quick glance. So yeah, like you say, to get a few weeks at number one, and then you don't know how many weeks it's spent at the other, places in the top 10. I mean, I suppose that's just it. Like we said right at the beginning, Mortal Kombat was huge at the time. So what other trivia have you got?
Brandon Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme were rumored to play Johnny Cage.
Ooh, just trying to
Well,
think.
Van Damme was supposed to play Johnny Cage in the games, wouldn't it, as well? I think it was, for the the motion, like.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why he jumped straight onto, well, I know, because Street Fighter was just before, wasn't it?
94 was it, that one?
Yeah.
I think. So the year before. I mean, if you had to choose, though, Paul, actually, Street Fighter the movie or Mortal Kombat, what would you go for?
I think I've not seen Street Fighter for quite some time either, but I suppose like Mortal Kombat, I would say is more faithful to
To the game.
To the game, yeah, because when I think of Street Fighter, I just think of like what is it, like E Honda as a reporter and a cameraman, and it was all the characters. Yeah, they seem like all over the place.
Yeah, I mean Sagat as well, though, because it's similar to Raiden, like I said before. Raiden and Sagat in the games are very tall, aren't they? 7 foot or something like that, massive.
Yeah.
And like Sagat in the movie, in Street Fighter the movie, he's just a little shorter.
Yeah. No, not good.
I also remember Raul Julia at the end as well, going game over, and I just remember that scene as well when he fights Van Damme, and Van Damme obviously gets his top off, and he's got that American tattoo on the flag on his arm there, and Blanca as well. Blanca was horribly done as well, just wrong.
Oh.
So, but if you're going to watch any Street Fighter movie, you need to watch the animated movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think every single person will agree with you on that one, definitely. So, what was your thoughts on the sequel? Because this came out, I think, in 1997. I think. Yeah, in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Annihilation, yeah, more like Abomination in it, because it's shocking, isn't it? Yeah. I do own it on DVD just to go with like the set, really, because I've got the movie, the Mortal Kombat Conquest TV series they did. I've got the animated series on DVD, and I've also got on Blu-ray the Mortal Kombat Legacy season 1 and season 2, the web series they did.
Jesus Christ, you're really into this.
Yeah, well, I think with me, I'm a bit of a completionist, so I want to get the whole set as well, of everything. there's no point like missing something. Even though like with Star Wars, well, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, I hate that film, but I've got it in my collection because obviously I'm a Star Wars.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I remember. I don't like. Let's say I've not watched this second one for a very long time, but at the time when it came out on video, I remember like seeing, the sequel's coming out. I worked in a video off license again in West Arton. So this, I think it came out.
Global Video, this one?
No, it wasn't Global Video. It was an old video off license called Night Vision. I'm going back to it must have come out on video to rent in '98 because we had a few copies of it, and we were always cheaper than Blockbuster, but it was like a couple of quid to rent and bring it back the very next day. And video shops back then, we sometimes had deals where if you bring it back, early in the morning, or if you rent it in the morning, you can have it for a quid or a quid 50 if you bring it back by say 2:30. So anyone who wanted to rent a video first thing, it was dead popular doing that in '90s. But I remember taking it home one night because if you're on the late shift and you're locking up at 10:30, and then you're opening up again at 9, you're like, you can just take a video home. And it was obviously good as well because obviously we sold booze and stuff. I wasn't. Hang on, 98. So yeah, I was old enough. I had to be over 18 because I was selling alcohol. Yeah. But yeah, it was quite a good thing to be able to do that because again, this is how we first saw things like Deep Rising as well. Because you'd just be like, right, I'll take this one home tonight. Oh, I'll give that a watch and stuff. And it was fairly popular. People wanted to watch it. So again, Mortal Kombat still had a lot of love. Bearing in mind, it's no longer the 16-bit era. It was like, I think Mortal Kombat 4 or Mortal Kombat Gold, like the early PS1 games
Dreamcast,
around the time. Not even before Dreamcast, just before. Gold was on
Dreamcast, yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, the PS1 Mortal Kombat games then, should say. And I seem to, again, I'm more intrigued, and you're going to have to remind me on this, just to see the new characters, and which new characters from the game we were going to put in, because by then you probably had about 20 odd characters in the game over the different, versions.
Do you want me to tell you off the top of my head the characters?
Is there not Smoke, but like the cyborg type one?
Cyborg Smokey's in it.
Yeah, and the robot type things. Why can't I think of it?
Cyrax is in it, the yellow one. Sector, the red robot, he's not in it. Trying to think about what's in it. Sub-Zero returns, but it's his brother, one with the scar in his face without the mask on. He's in Mortal Kombat 3, the game. You've got Liu Kang, obviously returns. Robin Shaw? He reprises his role, so he returns as Liu Kang, and then so does. Is it Talia Soto? She returns as Katana from the first film as well. So you got them two returning. Johnny Cage, he's back, but he dies right at the start of the film. Spoiler. But it's not the same actor who plays Johnny Cage from the first film. But even though he looks like incredibly like him as well, but he's only it briefly. Bridget Wilson doesn't return as Sonya Blade. It was another actress. Jax is in it as well, but it's a different actor from the first film.
How did they not get him?
Well, the first actor from the first film who played Jax, he passed away, I think. So.
Oh, right, okay. That usually has something. That usually has a dampener on it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe Bridget Wilson didn't return for Sonya because I'm not sure if she was married to Pete Sampras at this time, so maybe she didn't need the money to return. I'm not sure.
Well, he had that hit Mega Drive game, so obviously coining it from the game.
Was it 96? Pete Sampras 95 and 96? Yeah? And he must have had a few on the PS1 games.
I suppose he made money from his tennis career as well as the Mega Drive game, but there you go. Maybe just a quid or two.
Reptile returned as well in the film, but the
does it look any better?
No, well, for a while actually, for years I always thought it was Noob Saibot because
I thought he was in it.
And they fight Raiden, and Raiden takes them all out. But when I watch in the credits, it's Reptile 1, Reptile 2, Reptile 3. So it's Reptile, but he doesn't say how he returned or anything. They're just there. Raiden returns, but it's not Christopher Lambert. It is can't remember his name now.
Connery. Imagine if it was.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, imagine if it was. Yeah, might have made the film a little bit better.
I know.
Oh, you've got like, and then some of the villains, like Shao Kahn returns. Well, you only see him at the end of the first film, don't you? But he's not massive in this. It's played by the guy who's in AWOL. I think he's the woman who Van Damme starts sleeping with, the blonde woman who's got all the money. She wants him to fight for her. And so she's got like a bodyguard or somebody who drives around. He was in. He's been in a few films. I think he was in Universal Soldier, maybe, or Independence Day.
And who's this?
The guy who plays Shao Kahn, the Emperor.
Something quite. Brian Thompson. He's always a bad guy. He was in X-Files. As the bounty hunter / alien type thing. He was after him. And just having a look who played Raiden in the second one is James Remar, who was in Warriors and also in Dexter, playing Dexter's dad.
Yeah, and he was originally cast as to play Hicks when he in Aliens before Michael Biehn replaced him. Yeah,
but not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah. So obviously, all them I've just mentioned there, then they're in the sequel, and then you've got Sindel, who's Princess Katana's mum. She returns, so in the game, she's the one with like long grey hair. She screams as a special move.
Yeah.
She returns for this one, and you've got Jade, I think it is, Melina.
See, there's quite a lot. I've just had a quick look as
Smokes. Scorpion returns as well. It's a bit of a fight with Sub-Zero and an ice bridge for the all of like 2 minutes. Trying to think who else returns now. Oh, you got there's no Goro and there's no Kintaro, but Montaro.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. Is that the half senator type thing?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he returns, and you've also got Shinnok as well. And Shinnok was in the fourth game, and he was like the main villain in the fourth game.
Yeah,
and this he doesn't look like he does in the fourth game. He looks very like human. He's Shao Kahn's father, if I remember right, his dad.
The other ones that I've just had a quick look at then were Baraka and Nightwolf.
Oh yeah, Baraka, Nightwolf, and Shiva. The Goro woman with the 4 arms.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of it. They seem to have packed it more.
Just remembered as well. You got, I think it's Rain and Ermac. I think they give mentions to. You don't see them, but you hear they mention Striker and Cabal.
Right. Okay. So
there's that many characters in this film. It's ruined it because there's that many, and it's like Baraka. I think he's in it for like all of like the space of like a minute, and Shiva as well. She's probably in the whole film for like 2 minutes. I don't think she even talks, or maybe I think she had a line to like Liu Kang before he defeats her. But yeah, and it's one of these. Well, there's like a battle going on, like between, for instance, Scorpion and Zero on this ice bridge. Katana and Liu Kang are watching, just stood there watching on this fight, and then the bridge they're fighting on, the ice bridge, collapses and they fall to like a level below, and then it's one of them where Katana and Liu Kang are running over to edge for the sea, and it happens a few times in this film where somebody's battling and then the other people watching just running over to have a see. What's happening? Yeah,
I won't be watching this again.
The only saving grace for this film, for me anyway, is they kept the music the same as the first film as well. So that techno Mortal Kombat music, when it introduced all the characters like Raiden, Scorpion, Liu Kang.
It's so dated.
Song again. It is, yeah, but it's the same song again. But obviously, it's got the characters from the sequel mentioned in the song. So I don't mind that anyway, because I'm a fan of the track, so I don't mind that.
So I don't know. Obviously, I'm never going to watch the sequel again. I just can't.
Yeah.
I know I've seen it once, and I think that was it. It was probably on something like Sci-Fi Channel. That's the type of thing that.
Yeah, it might be a Channel 5 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, moving on to the TV series.
Right. Well,
how's that? Because I've not watched any of these, but I do remember that Mortal Kombat Conquest coming out on DVD, because Andy's Records, if anyone remembers that, a high street retailer from back in the day. I remember seeing it like on a budget DVD for only about £3. I was going back to about early 2000s when DVD was really starting to take off. I think it was on that Prism label. like a bit of a budget
Oh,
type label.
Prism, yeah.
Yeah. So go on.
Yeah,
What's the like?
it's not. Well, I was gonna say it's not too bad. Some episodes are all right, but it's very, very slow, and it centers around Kung Lao. So Kung Lao is Liu Kang's. Liu Kang is a descendant of Kung Lao, so he's obviously his ancestor. But it's set in something like it's set in the past. I don't know. I can't remember what like decade it's set in, what time period. But the guy, is it Daniel Bernhardt?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Kung
Was
Fu.
he in a Best of the Best as well? Or something? I might be.
No, he's in Bloodsport. He's in a couple of the
Right.
Bloodsport.
Yeah. Sorry. I was getting
And
mixed up.
is it Christina Loken, the lady who played the TX in Terminator 3?
Yeah.
She's in this as well. So I think it might be just a first like casting role for her. So you got them two, and you got the actor who played Kung Lao. It's all centered around him, and you got Shang Tsung's in it as well, and Scorpion, and I think New Cybot's in it, and Reptile. You find like a bit of backstory about some of the characters. Can you remember like Reptile's from a clan, a dying clan, and he's the last one, or I can't remember. I might be getting confused with the game, some of that story, but he's definitely in it anyway. And you got the woman. Have you seen Brad of Reanimator, the sequel to Reanimator?
Not for a long time. I'm never
Well,
gonna.
the woman in that who's dating Dean Cain, who's Herbert West's like assistant, she's in Mortal Kombat Conquest as well. But my God, she's had a boob job because she's got massive tits. And Brad of Reanimator, she's not. But in this Conquest, she's got huge tits, and she's walking around with next to nothing on as well. And I think actually that was it. And thinking back to it now, the whole like series, people, most of the women are wearing next to nothing. Yeah, so it's all like eye candy.
Yeah, I know. There you go. 3 stars from Andy.
Yeah, this is another spoiler as well. It ended like it just kind of like it was getting good. Well, I'm saying getting good. It was getting watchable anyway because it was really slow and it's really like, oh God, some episodes. But it kind of like it got cancelled, but they knew it was getting cancelled, so they wrapped it up quick. And spoilers, all the characters die at the end by Shao Kahn. Even though you don't see him getting on screen dead, I can't remember now. I think he just said like he's killed him or something. Now, it's been a while. It's been years since I watched it, even though I've got the DVD set. Yeah, so it's not that good. But if you want to watch anything, the animated series, The Defenders of the Realm, which is somebody's uploaded every episode on YouTube. So if you're intrigued in that, anybody or yourself, Paul, check that out because I've got the DVDs of that as well. But so I would watch it on my DVD instead of my day off. But bizarrely, I have 2 DVDs and one set has got 8 episodes on. The other set has got 4 on. And I've never noticed before. They're kind of like mixed episodes because for some reason I'm missing episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. But all the other episodes, and it's only like I think there's like 16 episodes or 14 episodes. I've got every episode, but except for these like 3 episodes. So I don't know where that's coming about. I don't know whether or not they've not been released over here. But I checked eBay to see if I could get like the missing episodes on the DVD. Like only be a couple of quid, I expect.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find it on eBay. Only the ones I own. So maybe it makes me think that they weren't released over here. You can get them in Australia and stuff.
That happens quite a lot, though, doesn't it? With TV shows. Like I've mentioned before, like I used to love watching Heartbreak High, and you can only get that from like Australia mainly. I think we released a couple of series in Germany, but we never had them in the UK. So obviously you've got to start importing stuff, and you never really want to take the risk. Well, I don't anymore anyway.
Yeah,
so what's the last one like?
What would you stick with Defenders of the Realm actually? Because Defenders of the Realm, it's kind of like a follow-on from the Annihilation. So it's a follow-on from that, but it's kind of like set round the 3rd game as well, because Striker's in it. So the main characters are Striker, Raiden, Sonya, Liu Kang. There's no Johnny Cage because he's been killed off. Nightwolf. And there might be one more, or Sub-Zero, because the first episode Sub-Zero turned up and it's the brother of Sub-Zero, and he's got the scar on his face, as I said, so it's same Sub-Zero from Annihilation, and they think he's a traitor and he's working for like Shao Kahn and Scorpion.
Yeah.
And It was good, but when the first episode finished, I was like, right, okay, we're on episode 2. So I clicked for the next episode, and it started, and it was like it felt like it jumped about 5 episodes because it didn't continue from episode 1. So I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So when I compared the episodes what I had to Internet Movie Database episodes, I thought, well, am I missing episode 2? So I had to rewatch episode 2 on YouTube, and that's where I discovered that somebody uploaded every episode on YouTube.
It's not bad. I might give one of them a watch.
Yeah, give one of them a watch because it's not, and as well the music is very techno, so it ties in with the Mortal Kombat movies.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll put it on the never-ending list. So
Yeah,
what's the best?
Anyway, check episode 1 out on YouTube. You can
Yeah, I can do that. It's not
yeah.
going to be on for too long.
And the animation is very like mid to late 90s, so you have to like look past that in a way. And Liu Kang is very, even though in the movies he's very like, what is he like? Is he like Chinese kind of thing or whatever? But in this, he was kind of very much came across as though like a young American.
Yeah. No, I'll give that one a try. I think about it. Give that a try rather than what's it called?
Conquest. Well, yeah. Conquest though as well. I think when you said you saw it on DVD for £3 or something, that might be like because I think you could get like the first episode. That's all it'll be. Yeah, I think you could get that, and then later on I discovered you could get the other episodes released in little box sets in this country. On Region 2, but you have to like kind of track them down. And I think they're pretty rough to get hold of it. You don't really see them around that often. And when I've checked like Amazon anyway, they've always been like something like £80 or something. I was thinking, God, this box set back in the day, like about £1 or something. When people were getting rid of it for next to nothing, and I snapped it up, and it seemed to be worth a bomb. But that was another thing when that lad back at school borrowed me the VHS copy of Mortal Kombat the movie. The Defenders of the Realm animated series was advertised on that, and that's where I first saw it. And back then, I never watched it back then, but that's the first time I ever caught eyes, and I thought, I wouldn't mind checking that out. So years later, I picked up the DVDs and I own them now, kind of thing. But it's been years since I actually sat down and watched them. Absolutely years since I watched them. So
fair enough.
The day off yesterday, I thought I'd watch them. But the other one you're asking about is Mortal Kombat Legacy. That came out in
the last one.
The last series. This is not connected to any of the films. This is on its own. It's like a reboot in a way. So it came out in 2011, and that was season 1, and then 2013 was season 2. So I say it's like a web series, and each episode varies between say 10 and 15 minutes long per episode. I own the box set, Paul. So if you ever I have season 1 and season 2 Blu-ray, so you ever want I can borrow them and see what you think, because these are worth checking out.
Yeah, no, I think that's just it. If it grabs you a little bit, and because like I said early on, my issue with that first original Mortal Kombat film is it's just like it just jumps a bit too much. But if there is a little bit more meat on the bonus to put it, then maybe
there's a bit of a twist to this as well, because the characters are not as you imagine them to be in like they are in the games and in these like previous movies. Because for instance, Raiden, he's a thunder god, but he's kind of like he wakes up in a mental like a prison or a mental institute or something where people think he's insane because he can obviously control thunder and stuff.
Yeah. I do like the idea of that one more, because at least it's. And also,
it's just trying something, do like a modern twist to it.
No,
as well,
exactly. And it's the same time as the games have taken off as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you think, well, we've gone. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, we've done a couple of films, we've done a couple of different series, but now let's try and do a new series. But it's surprising, isn't it? Because you think now that means I just had a quick look, and that went on to about 2012, 2013. So it was on for a couple of years. So it's almost 20 years of Mortal Kombat films and TV shows, which is quite a lot, just short of that's like 18 years, of Mortal Kombat stuff that we managed to spin out.
Or there's been rumours, haven't there, about rebooting it now, haven't they? Apparently it's been greenlit, they're going to reboot it, and it's going to be a full on 18 or something. So
well, I was going to ask you about that, because the thing is, I wonder, because it's like Warner Brothers that own it. I wonder if like they could do something by having Mortal Kombat and still have someone like Freddy and Jason in it. You know what I mean? So I know it'd be
Yeah,
a bit cheesy because they've done it obviously with the
with the game.
DLC for the games. So you
Yeah,
just wonder, like, going, well, could it be a case of like to, because those franchises are really dead at the moment, but maybe that's another way you could actually bring, a couple of them in if you could get the rights. I mean, I don't know, like, the likes of things like Pinhead and stuff, because obviously Hellraiser's awful now as well, but that could be a way to obviously revive it, because
could
it
be.
worked
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it worked for the games, and people still go mad for Mortal Kombat games and come out like gamers and stuff like that. And I don't know, obviously I don't think it's as big as it was in the 90s, but it's still a popular franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's come back. They obviously turned it back round now, haven't they? Because it went through them years where it was just dog shit when it like Mortal Kombat 4. I don't mind Mortal Kombat 4, but I think it would just went turd round there, didn't it? And then you had like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and all that stuff, which made it got a little bit better and stuff. And then I think it pretty much samey with the games, and you know what to expect. Instead of doing like that conquest story mode on the where you could walk around and meet characters and stuff, and then you got that was that other game, that Shaolin Monks game where it was like a 2D fighter.
Yeah, we have
Remember
tried different things, haven't they?
that?
With the games.
Yeah, that what's that one month Sub Zero? That
But is that Scroll and Beat 'em Up one? No, it's
yeah,
not.
one
Oh, is
player
it?
on N64 was it? Something on PS1.
Yeah, but we've also had the
Special
the Special
Forces.
Forces, and you know, uh, is there something which includes Mortal Kombat chess?
Yeah, was it Deception? I think it was.
I can't
Yeah,
recall, but you know
there's
what I mean.
the Tetris as well on there as well. A bit like that
Jesus.
Puzzle Fighter, Street Fighter Puzzle Fighter.
The thing is, right, like wrapping this up, we can never say it's been something that's never tried. I'm on about like games and films and TV series.
Yeah,
It's not been something that's never tried something new. So it's tried to step out of its comfort zone by whether it's the Conquest series that you mentioned, looking back at the mythologies and how the characters are, or shoehorning every single character in for the games to make a second film and hope that it gets somewhere close to 120 odd million. It probably didn't, the second
no, I
one.
don't think anywhere near it. But I remember one of my mates. He went watching the sequel at the cinema at the time. And I remember I used to meet him every morning, we catch the bus to school together. And I said, "Oh, did you go and watch it?" And he said, "Yeah,
And
we
he was
watched
just
it."
sobbing.
No, I said, "What was it like?" Thinking because he been into the same films as me, thinking he's going to be saying it's this because he liked the first film as well. And he said, I don't know, I fell asleep watching it. He said it were awful, terrible. And he said I just nodded off, and I was thinking, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, did it really? You fell asleep in it? And then years later when I watched it, and I thought, yeah, I can see why.
Mm,
But do
no,
you remember years ago, just going back to the Legacy, I'll throw it in as well though, this web series they did. Do you remember years ago on YouTube there was a trailer that got released, and I think it was like about a 5 to 10 minute long trailer. I don't know if you saw it, and it's Scorpion in a even though you didn't know he was Scorpion at the time, and he was in like a police station. He was talking at like a desk in an office. Do you remember that one?
no.
And it showed like I'll have to find it anyway and post it on
Yeah,
I'll send it
yeah,
to you
yeah.
on chat. And it showed like clips of it was set in modern day, and it showed like little snippets of some of the characters from Mortal Kombat because it showed Reptile, but he was dead. Like I don't know, he was like been murdering people, and he had body parts in his fridge. And it showed a fight scene between Johnny Cage and Baraka, and Baraka had dreadlocks, and he had surgically like woven blades into his wrists, and he was fighting Johnny Cage and chopped Johnny Cage's arm off, fighting in like an apartment block.
Not never seen that
Yeah,
at all.
that's what. And apparently he did this, and then people noticed it, and they got like a lot of good feedback on it, and then he got the web series went ahead then.
No, fair enough, but this is what I mean. We've done a lot with it. It's gone a long way. Obviously, Mortal Kombat in total has been going over 20 odd years, but then to get so many years out of a film and TV. But yeah, listen, I know I'm never going to love it as much as you, and there are worse things out there. But
yeah, I felt like I said to you at the start of the episode. I think a lot of it with me is nostalgia with the first film anyway, because I watched it when I was like early teens.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
which is
good memories
a
of watching
perfect
it.
age.
Yeah, and I think when I watch it now, yeah, I can look past the dodgy CGI, because I'll admit CGI in this film is ropey, but it's got a kick-ass soundtrack and the acting as well. It's not the best, but there's a certain fun behind the film. I think, like, you know what I mean. There's a bit more pussies for me than the negatives with this film, and I say it's
Yeah.
just an easy watch. It is what it is. I don't expect it to be like, you know what I mean, film of the year or anything. And like when you watch like the films like The Matrix now, and you think, well, it stood the test of time, that, and all these other films like Die Hard, you can sit and watch that. With this, I think,
Yes.
yeah, it's ropey. You know, it's really ropey, but I enjoy it. You know.
Well, I'm not going to hold it against you for getting me to watch it again anyway, but I think the next thing for me is going to be Hot Fuzz, and I can't wait to cover that with you.
Yeah, definitely. But I say you could hold Annihilation to me anyway. If I said, Paul, watch that, we'll cover that on the episode and on the podcast. You'd hold that one against me.
Oh, God.
But I will borrow you the web series anyway, because you probably enjoy watching that. And it's each episode only lasts between 10 to 15 minutes, so you can get it all watched in like say an evening.
Oh, that's not so bad then. That's nice.
Not too bad, yeah.
Right, is there anything else you want to say on it before wrapping up?
Let me just have a think if I missed anything else I want to add on there. Oh yeah, that was it as well. Shao Kahn as well. He's voiced by Frank Welker, and you know who Frank Welker was, didn't you?
No.
He's the guy who voices Megatron in Transformers.
Right, okay. Again, I've not watched Transformers the movie for yonks or the TV series.
Yeah, when I said the original G1 TV series from the mid-80s.
See,
yeah.
Again, I know, like, you guys love Transformers, but as I've said so many times, it was something that I makes into Transformers a lot more, but for me it was Action Force / G.I. Joe and Mask. And those were my two biggest ones, you know.
Yes. G.I. Joe, I love that. Mask, I did used to watch it and stuff, and I had a few toys. I remember seeing your picture on Facebook. You had a lot of toys.
And I wish I still had them all, but I used to have tons, and the comics and the annuals and the sticker books and, you know, everything. I just was Mask mad.
Yeah, we were the same, but we were more like Master of the Universe and Thundercats and Transformers. We went that route, and Visionaries. We went like that side of things, where you went the other side.
Yeah.
And so Frank Welker, he voiced Shao Kahn, but if anyone else picked up on this as well, Shao Kahn at the end of the film, he reminded me a bit of his voice anyway. Reminded me a bit of the Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
If you listen back to it, Gadget. Yeah, I'll get you, Gadget. Weak pathetic fools, I come for your souls.
It's just very cheesy.
Yeah, and Ed Boon as well. He voiced Scorpion in the movie like he did in the game as well. So like, get over
that's
here.
That's a nice little touch, I suppose. Even though it made me cringe.
What by him saying that?
Yeah, no, just having him to do that voice, still having him doing the voice, you know. Yeah. At least he didn't put in the toasty guy, you know.
Yeah. 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 But, well, they could do that now though, with especially if they released it in 3D or something like. Because when you did, was it Mortal Kombat was it Mortal Kombat 3 or Mortal Kombat 4? Wasn't it when you did that toasty? I think he popped. But he said toasty.
Yeah, in the corner, you know.
So if they did a 3D Blu-ray version, he could probably pop up and say toasty 3D. Just to annoy everybody anyway. I'm just having a think there, because I do write a few notes down. I don't really like writing notes down anyway. But, as I said to you, with me, we might not be in here. I felt like a hosting duties and stuff like that as well, so I have to make a few notes.
Hey, listen, for once, I tried to be a bit quieter and not take over too much, because I'm the guest.
Paul Anderson as well, who say directed Event Horizon after this film, because that came out in 97, yeah, so 2 years after this. But he, believe it or not, he passed on Mortal Kombat Annihilation directing that.
I'm glad that he did.
Maybe he passed on that to direct Event Horizon.
Yeah, it's the right choice, isn't it? You know,
1997, yeah. So he definitely did the right one there. and
At
it
the
took
end of the day,
60.
it was probably a big honour to do it. Mortal Kombat. So if someone goes, you're going to be the director of basically a massive video game franchise. Well, franchise, and it's still early on in his career. I think he did another film called Shopping. That rings a bell. With oh Christ, what's it called? Jude Law in. I might be wrong, but I don't know if you've ever heard that. It's not, I think more of a drama one. But yeah, so go on, just while I have a quick look for this.
Yeah, I've just got two more bits of trivia here, and then I'll leave it on to you, Paul. So Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, he has two sisters. One of them's called Sonya, and the other one is called Tanya. So Sonya obviously was in this Mortal Kombat film, and Tanya appeared. Well, she was dropped in Mortal Kombat 4, the game, because of the character in that Tanya. And it took up to 16 people to operate Goro. His face movements and all that stuff and features.
No, I'd like to say they did a good job with Goro. I've just quickly checked on. He's just known as Paul Anderson for his first film, which is called Shopping. Sadie Frost and Jude Law, who were a couple around that time. So this is only his second film. Then going on to Event Horizon, Soldier, which gets mixed stuff, but it's quite popular.
Film. That's not too bad. It's not too bad.
And then he did Resi, AVP, Death Race, the original one, which isn't that bad in 2008.
So Statham, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Afterlife, which is awful. The Three Musketeers in 2011, which is god awful. Resident Evil Retribution, Pompeii, never seen. Resident Evil Final Chapter, my god. And then he's working on Monster Hunter, which comes out in 2020, based again on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not done loads, really.
Yeah. Did he have something to do with Resident Evil Apocalypse? Well, that was the sequel to the first one. You said you went from Resident Evil straight to Afterlife, I think it was. So maybe.
Yeah, no, he's basically because around that time he'll have been doing AVP, which again you think is a big franchise. It's just not a film I like. Well, I think he's had a couple of small ones as well, but nothing amazing.
Yeah, I think this is the thing though, because I remember watching the making of or something before the AVP film came out, and his ideas were all right as well, because they were talking through it, what like the weapons of Predators will have and stuff, and they were about this pyramids and everything, like with the aliens and the Queen and stuff. Thinking, yeah, that's a good idea, but the execution, shocking, just bad, just terrible.
Yeah,
I just didn't like it, and it was a bit too comedy as well. And he cast that guy from Trainspotting as well, which is Spud. And
yes,
he's wrongly cast. He shouldn't be in this as well. And that woman as well, I can't remember her name now in the film, but at the end of the film when she's teaming with the Predator, and you're thinking, come on, the Predator would just...
it's stuff like that. I know we've come back full circle to ripping on a
Predator.
Predator. But no, that's my point of view, everything really. you know. But yeah. So how do you usually wrap this up?
Have you got anything you want to call out, Paul? Give a shout out to anyone?
Again, it's like, well, thank you again for having me on. I know we've gone on quite a few tangents, and
well, that's what we do on this podcast.
I know it's funny because like when I listen to it as a listener, it's like, right, I'm looking forward to getting to such a thing, and gone, hang on, what are we on about now? So sometimes you just go, right, okay, I'm back with it. So I know we jump around a bit, but I feel like it was worth covering the rest of the Mortal Kombat universe while doing this, because I don't think you're ever going to do a Mortal Kombat Annihilation special or Conquest or anything like that. So I feel like it's worth covering the same, series of films and TV stuff. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah, it was
nice to just mention them at the end there, because we won't cover any more Mortal Kombat stuff. And I said this was my idea, and I just want to give a shout out to Dean as well, because I hope you're doing all right, Dean.
He was a decent guy.
Yeah, I last had him on for the Transformers episode as well, and not really spoke to him much. A few messages and stuff. We speak now and again on girl and stuff, and
it's got a lot going on though. We all have. Cause...
Yeah, well, you know what it's like though. You've been in same boat as well, when and it turns you you know what I mean, your life upside down, and I think as well she was teething as well last time I spoke to him, so he weren't getting much sleep, and he's got to go to work, and we've all been there, and it is hard, and
it's basically we do this as a hobby for fun.
He was beating himself a little bit because he wanted to record and do this episode, and he kept putting it off. And I said, "Look, you know what I mean?" And he felt like he was letting us down. And we said, "Well, you're not letting us down. Just sort your family out, kind of thing. It can wait." And that's what I said. Well, he said, "I can't do it at the moment. I've got too much going on." So I said, "Right, okay, well, Paul will do it, and we'll get Paul on."
Yeah. Well, listen. Anytime. I mean, look, it's always family first, and like I say, it's here as a hobby. I mean, like I say, obviously, I do Maximum Powerup, and obviously output's been a bit slower, but I feel like we've discussed a few things which will start picking up again, because again we've all just been busy, or we're having a bit of a shuffle around with a few ideas, so. Yeah, things like that will come again, but it's a hobby, and before you know it, well, like you said, on here, you've got your runs. We do extra work where possible and stuff, and this here is an extra, but it's just good to basically have a chat like this, chatting to mates, talking about films that we love, and sharing it with listeners, but also friends as well. The likes of Andy at Get to Chopper. The likes of RGDS, there's Retro Asylum, there's obviously us, there's Arcade, I can't think, the Darren Dasborg's Arcade Perfect podcast. Sorry, my brain just went then. And the list goes on. 10 Pence Arcade. We're spoiled for content. There's so much to listen to. But it's been good.
Just sticking with the podcast, I've been listening to a podcast as well. Just give them a shout out, the Madhouse podcast as well. I know they cover movies as well. I know that. Yeah, and they've covered like films like, I think they've just done Night of the Living Dead and Reanimator. I think they've done a Child's Play film, covered one of the Child's Play movies as well. They're worth checking out as well. And there was another one I've been listening to another podcast, or the Retro Ramble as well, and a couple of wrestling podcasts to listen to as well. What's the one with Bruce Pritchard as well?
Oh yeah, something to wrestle with. Yeah.
Something to wrestle with. Yeah, that's always worth checking out as well. Any wrestling fans out there? Oh no, the one with JR as well, Grilling JR. That's worth listening to.
Yeah, definite.
Yeah,
all right.
So I think that's it, guys. So I think we'll wrap it up here.
Yes.
So thanks all for coming back on, and hopefully we'll get back on sooner rather than later, because I think I'm not spoken to Mike anyway, so I'm not sure what the episode is, but I'm hoping it's going to be hot for us, because we've had that on the back burner for a bit anyway. Yeah. So hopefully we can get that done next time. So Paul, you will be on next episode, I think, after this.
Yeah, well, like I say, while we've not got as much going on Maximum Powerup, and I'm trying to have a bit of time just to keep guesting. I mean, I'm getting things slowly recorded and stuff, but it's just sometimes comes down to time to get them ready as well. But before the year is out, there'll be a couple of episodes going out, and obviously I'm happy to come on here and chat films. I do enjoy it. But thank you for having me. I know it's got to a late night, but as always, I remember like last week we just had a quick catch up. That was like about 2.5 hours.
Well, that was it. Yeah, that was it, listeners, because we were going to record last week, and then technical problems. We couldn't get recording. We couldn't get it to record or anything. The conversation. So we said, right, okay, well, we'll just have a conversation. We'll just have a chat, kind of thing. We're not recording. We couldn't record it. We wouldn't record. So we'll just have a chat, then have a bit of a catch up. So that went on for about 2 hours or something.
So again, hopefully any issues haven't been horribly bad with it. I know there's the odd little thing dropping out. This is, but I think the next time we record, Lee, if we plan it, we can do Hot Fuzz in person, but we can discuss that off air down the line. Because again, we're close to each other. So I think something like that would probably be quite a good idea. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind covering another, movie with you or something as well myself, because I was thinking maybe like Ninja Turtles or something, or the 1990
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
covering that as well, because obviously you're into your toys from back in
Yeah.
back in
Yes,
that.
it'd be a
You
good
probably
one.
watch you watch the cartoon as well, so no doubt you've obviously seen the set of films as well. So I wouldn't mind
Yes.
covering that
Yeah.
as well. Then to do what we
Anyway.
did with Mortal Kombat, touch on the sequels and go from there. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
I'll let
So
you say
right,
goodbye to everyone.
yeah. Thanks everybody for listening, and just check us out on Facebook, the Untitled Film Podcast, and on Instagram as well. Just follow us and give us a like on there, and leave us an iTunes review as well if you can. So thanks, Paul, and we'll get you back on again soon.
Yes. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.